be a VIP to get more than just savings with Geico. Every customer...
Yeah, we are running Gen 6. Oh, and what? Oh, crap. Alright.
Okay, and welcome to the NARAS Cup Series at Las Vegas. I know the stream says Stars Cup Series right now. We are working to get that fixed. The stream key, for some reason, which was working earlier, has me set for this stream and not the Vegas one. I don't know why that happens. But we have practice here ending in 30 seconds. Joey Beam in first, John Deeds in second, Corey Rainey third. Actually, Caleb Hess goes to the top of the board with a draft lap from Beam. So Hess will go to first, Beam to second, Deeds to third, Rainey to fourth, Lucas Lewis to fifth, Josh Mason to sixth, one of the Siddons to seventh, Trent Siddon to seventh, Jordan Parker to eighth, Christian Mullen to ninth, Tanner Siddon to 10th, Carden Hansen to 11th, and David Callahan in the 81 to 12th. As practice ends, Caleb Hess will be your leader in practice. We are going to go ahead and start segueing into qualifying. As you see, that'll be practice here from Las Vegas. As I believe the stream title is now working, we are good to go. I am waiting to see if we have anybody on track. We have Joshua Mason, I believe, will be the first one off. if my camera will go to him. He is sitting on pit road. Okay. First one off will be Carden Hansen. Into number 3, Good Wrench Chevrolet. We were watching him here with his first lap. Or, well, with his out lap. We also have Christian Mullen in the 5, back from last week after some bad luck. Joey Beam in the 41. We have Trenton Sidden in the 99. You may hear me get confused with him and his brother Tanner a few times this race. In advance, I am sorry, but the 99 is Trenton Sidden and the 96 is Tanner Sidden. And then we round out with David Callahan starting his lap in the 81 M&M's machine. We're going to go ahead and ride on board here with Callahan as he goes to take his first time. These drivers here will get 2 qualifying laps. So they're going to have 2 chances to set a fast lap here. David Callahan's going to be going for his first attempt. And then we will try and find someone else while he goes over his second. Watch this board here on the left. That will tell you who is in what positions at the time. Carden Hansen is the first one on the board with a 30.65. Callahan ties that with another 30.65. We are going to go ahead and go to TV1. And we are going to go ahead and follow Jordan Parker, league owner, going for his first lap here in his new Baja Blast Mountain Dew machine. Big fan of the colors here. He actually had a little bit of he wanted me to give him a second opinion on most of this, so I am a little bit biased towards it. But the scheme was done completely himself. He pretty much just asked me for the thumbs up. As David Callahan is actually going to pass Carden Hansen for pole right now. As Jordan Parker is going to start his lap, I believe. Oh, no. Yes, he is. He's going to start his lap. Actually, no, he ran the top for his first lap. Sorry, it does not show me what lap he is on. So we're going to see if he can put a time here faster than Trenton Sidden, who currently sits in first with a 30.52. As we now look at Josh Mason, who still sits on pit road. We're going to go back to Jordan Parker here, as he's going to cross the line on the front stretch right now, and he's going to go P1 with a 30.47 for the 9 machine. I believe we still have 5 more people to qualify. I believe Hess is still on his second lap, so we may see a little bit of a faster time. Hess goes to 3rd with a 30.51. Lucas Lewis seems to be on his second lap here. We're going to go ahead and follow him. We'll see what he can do in his 24 Clarience Technologies car. He picked up Clarience after David Malukas picked up the sponsor in Indianapolis, as he's a big David Malukas fan. So let's see what Lucas Lewis can do here. In the 24, he's going to move to 2nd. So you have Parker Motorsports 1-2 right now. The teammate of Christian Mullen right now in 5th. As it believes that Josh Mason is starting his first lap here, or is coming to his first lap here. So he's the final Parker Motorsports car. He's looking to see if he can, lock the top 3 here with this team. However, you also haven't seen the 1 of Corey Rainey or the 22 of John Deeds qualify. Those 2 were fast in practice together. John Deeds has his first time 15 hundredths behind the 9 of Jordan Parker. Josh Mason is here on his first lap. Different approach than what we saw from the other 2 Parker Motorsports cars that are now on the top 2 spots. The Parker Motorsports cars actually ran the top for the first 2 laps, almost like super speedway qualifying. And the reason they're able to do that is because with these cars, Las Vegas on new tires is completely flat out, so they're able to push a bit more. Josh Mason's first lap is 11th with a, looks like a 30.7 for the 88 here, as he goes for his second lap. We're waiting to see if Deeds is actually able to move his position up at all. He may have actually gotten in the walls. I'm not seeing any improvement here from John Deeds. Corey Rainey is just now completing his first lap, as that is going to place him in P9 above his teammate of Deeds with actually a very similar time. We're going to go ahead and ride around with Rainey for his second lap. This is the last driver to qualify tonight. Josh Mason seems to stay in 12th. So Josh Mason looks like will start last in this event tonight. So he's going to be looking to make his way through the field. As Corey Rainey in the 1, I believe our final driver to qualify, is looking to try and, Oh, I don't know if he made it. Corey Rainey didn't make it for his second lap. Him and Deeds are going to start 9th and 10th. That is major for that team. And now is the time where we see all of the drivers kind of sit on pit road for a little bit. They're going to be doing their drivers meeting just to make sure everything's in line. Essentially just re-go over all the important rules and everything. And while they do that, we are going to go ahead and and listen to the national anthem, and then I will go over what happened at the end of last race in Daytona. So here is the national anthem.
So proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fights, oh, the busting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land under the free in the home of the brave.
Alright, and that is our national anthem. So as we're still waiting for the driver meeting to finish, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the finish of last week's race. I have it right here. So coming out of the turn 2 at Daytona, you see Lucas Lewis gets pushed past the 1 of Corey Rainey by the 06. I don't know if the camera angle will show it here, but Jordan actually gives a major shove to the 1 of Rainey. right as Lucas Lewis goes to block that inside line. Almost hooks Lewis, actually checks up the entire field. They end up 3 wide here for the lead. And as they come to the line, they're still 3 abreast. Jordan Parker gives a massive shove to Rainey that wrecks the top 3. And then Lucas gets turned down into the 9 of Parker, and that leads the door for Dave Stinson to take the win here at Daytona. As you can see in the slow-mo, Stinson kind of got it pretty convincingly. His teammate of Coulson finished 2nd, Jordan Parker 3rd, Joshua Hahn 4th. That is Dave Stinson and Kenneth Coulson aren't teammates. Compared to what I said last week, they were just working together in the same voice call. I didn't know that. I don't have to know the teams usually. So yeah, disclaimer, that was wrong. So, but you had 2 of the 2 race chatter cars in the 28 of Kenneth Coulson and the 42 of Joshua Hahn, both in the top 5. They were probably the best teammates all night. Parker Motorsports is, as 2 of them were on the front row here today. Parker Motorsports were not as good as you would think they were compared to last season. Last season, Parker Motorsports won, I believe, almost half the races. And we just haven't seen the teamwork that they had last season. So it really kind of depends on if they can get their act together today. They might not be as strong as the super speedways as last year, but they could be just as good, if not better, at the intermediates and short tracks compared to last year. So they're looking at 2-ish new drivers. Joshua Mason is completely new. Lucas Lewis obviously came from a sister team last season. Jordan Parker obviously still running the show over there with his good friend Christian Mullen in the 5. Another team that might be big tonight is RFD. That is the 1 of Corey Rainey and the 22 of John Deeds. Obviously, their qualifying did not go as planned, with them starting 9th and 10th out of 12 cars. They will be looking to rebound here. They were very strong in practice together, and I think it is very likely that you could see them working together. Rainey historically was very strong at the intermediates last year, so I think it's likely you could see someone like Rainey move to the front relatively quickly. If I can, I'm going to try and grab an interview with our pole sitter of Jordan Parker, but we will see. I'm kind of waiting on the time. I'm actually going to bring the board up here just to see the time. It looks like we still have 2.5 minutes here in warm-ups. It seems like the driver meeting is closed. Jordan seems to still be talking with the 81 of Callahan and the 1 of Rainey. Likely just some last notes. Caleb Hess here in the 51. He was decently strong last season, left early after some, issues. Missed with us last week due to another conflict, but seems to be back with us full-time for the rest of the season. Hess was one of my drivers last year, and I do think you can definitely see someone like Hess in the front. He has the ability to lead with this car. It is obviously not the car that everyone's running on iRacing nowadays, but it is a car that he is strong in, as we see him going for his lap. We're going to go ahead and see if I can... I'm going to go ahead and grab Jordan Parker up here in the booth, if I can. Jordan Parker, it is Owen in the booth. Do you got me?
I got you, man.
So, it's your first pole of the season. You're looking for, a little bit of redemption after Daytona and what could have been. How do you approach tonight, and to what extent does teamwork kind of play a role in a race like Vegas compared to a race like Daytona?
Well, with teamwork, it's different. You don't work with your cars, with your teammates at a track like this than you would at Daytona or Talladega. With this, it's all strategy based. I've kind of taken a lot of notes from you over the time that I've spent with you, racing with you. And strategy-wise, obviously, it still doesn't work like Homestead, but we don't talk about that.
Well, obviously, I'm not able to give you pointers because I'm supposed to be a non-biased broadcaster, so you're going to have to figure that out yourself, man.
Yeah, I'm on my own this season. But, no, so I've done a lot of practice. I did a lot of tire testing with this car to try and see what I can do with the tires, what I can do with my car, how far I can push it, and obviously it worked. Because I got the pole, I beat out second by how fast? An entire 10th, over a 10th.
Well, so here's the big thing is the fact that second place Lucas Lewis is your teammate. you have yourself and Lewis on the front row. You have Christian Mullen, who's kind of stuck mid-pack, and then you have Joshua Mason, who's starting 12th. Do y'all try and help Mason get through the field, or do you kind of just let Mason figure it out on his own?
With him being brand new to this, I don't want him to figure it out on his own. You know, I want him to learn the car. I want him to just to take his time, ask obvious, questions, whatnot, and just have fun with it. Don't go too hard. Don't burn your tires up. It's all a learning curve for me because I'm going in with somebody new, and whereas I've always worked with you and Christian who have the experience and whatnot. So no, he's not going to go in it alone. He's going to have me and his teammates right there with him.
All right, well, that is going to be all tonight from... Well, for now, that's going to be all tonight from me. Good luck tonight, and hopefully I will, sneak another interview with you later.
Thank you.
All right, say. As we move Jordan Parker back to the booth, back to his team, we're going to go ahead and look at the starting lineup for tonight's race. Obviously, we just talked with the pole sitter, Jordan Parker, in the 9, with his teammate of Lucas Lewis on his outside, 200ths behind him. Trenton Sidden making his season debut, actually I believe league debut, starts 3rd. Caleb Hess returning after an absence in 4th. Tanner Sidden returning from Daytona starts 5th. Christian Mullen for Parker Motorsports starts 6th. Joey Beam started on outside pole at Daytona, didn't have the race he wanted, starts 7th. David Callahan got involved in a few late incidents last week, starts 8th. Corey Rainey was involved in that 3-wide wreck coming to the line last week, will start 9th. John Deeds, his teammate on the outside, will start 10th. Carden Hansen in the 3 will start 11th, and new teammate for Parker Motorsports, Joshua Mason, will start 12th in the 88. I believe it is 1 pace lap. Obviously, last week we had 2. I don't think we have 2. So we're going to go ahead and look at our scoring here. Obviously, this is our 0th caution of tonight, as we see Jordan Parker try to get his first win of the season. He had 1 win last season at Kansas, his home race. He's looking to up that number and try and win at least 2 or 3 this season, and tracks like Las Vegas and other intermediates are likely one of his best shot. As we see, I believe it is 2 pace laps, so they're kind of keeping me on edge here. But yeah, so likely what we can expect from this race, it's either going to be incredibly aggressive or incredibly relaxed. I believe what we're looking at here realistically is, quite a bit of chaos, but with so little cars, they may try and, get each other to the end here. As I'm looking at the race for this week, the first stage will finish on lap 45, so there will be a caution without cause on lap 45 for the stage. The top 10 will receive points. Obviously, first will get 10 points, second will get 9th, and so on until you get to 10th with 1. So 2 drivers will miss out on stage points in the first stage. Obviously, possibly 2 different drivers will miss out on the points in the second stage, and at the end, every position is a points-paying position. So realistically, you want to be first through the whole race. If you get first, you get 60 points. You get 10 points for stage 1, 10 points for stage 2, and 40 points for the race win. But what you're really looking for with those stage wins is playoff points. Someone like Jordan Parker would know the value of those. At the end of last season, he missed a lot of the playoffs, but he had racked so many playoff points during the season with all of his stage points and also his regular points finishing position. He won the regular season and got like 15 or 25 extra playoff points, which propelled him through the rounds that possibly he wouldn't have made it in if he had not had those. So Jordan Parker looking to extend his lead with the playoff points and looking to possibly lock himself into the playoffs tonight, as we are going to take the green flag. We will ride with Jordan Parker after this green flag, as Lucas Lewis is able to get going, but you're seeing a blink a little bit on the outside. Jordan Parker seems to be clear going into 1, but it looks like he's going to be a little bit cautious on entry. Trenton Sitten lines into 2nd. Lucas Lewis will fall in line into 3rd. Caleb Hess might be losing spots on the outside in that 51 Miller Lite car, as he is in a battle with Tanner Sidden and the 96 on his inside. It looks like Trenton Sidden. I would say T Sidden, but they're both T Sidden. The 99 is looking for that higher lane. I don't know if he's just trying to get clean air from the 9 Jordan Parker or if he's just trying to keep his foot in it a bit more. These first few laps are going to be all out due to the tire wear at Vegas. Like I said, in these cars, the first few laps are going to be like a super speedway. Think of it like modern day Atlanta, where you can keep it pinned to the inside, but you're going to have to, you know, step out wide on the corners for the most part. As we see, Lucas Lewis is kind of defending both the inside and outside lanes for third. He wants to hang on to that spot. Already lost one more than he wanted to. So really just looking to kind of maintain his pace here. As we see, John Dees and Carden Hansen actually are losing time to the lead pack here. They've both kind of fallen back. I wonder if maybe there was some kind of contact between the two. I'm not able to see anything major. So these two, you know, lacking a bit of pace here early. I'm assuming John Deeds does have a plan. He seems to be relatively quick. Obviously, he was fast in practice. It's actually looks like Trenton Sidden on that top line is trying to get help from Caleb Hess to go around the outside of Jordan Parker. Jordan actually is going to step out and get loose, put himself in the wall, and that's him and Trenton Sidden. Caleb Hess gets turned to the outside wall. Trenton Sidden down the track into Joey Beam. That is going to be a major caution. It looks like the 3 of Hansen involved. Obviously, the 51 and 99. The 9 caught the wall. We're going to follow with Trenton Sidden for this accident. That was that was a very, I mean, that was brutal for Trenton Sidden there, as we're going to see what he could do. That was a wild wreck this early in the race. I'm kind of surprised that we saw something like that, as we're going to go ahead and follow this 99. So you see the 99 goes for a move on the 9. The 9 gets loose, slides up. The 96 of Tanner Sid. Oh, looks like Josh Mason actually saves it. So it looks like the 96 may have front-end damage from hitting the rear of the 51. There are 0 fast repairs in the NARAS Cup Series, so every damage repair they're going to have to make is going to have to be on, they're going to have to serve that time on pit road. It looks like Trenton Sidden is going to, try and get some of his damage here. That's a very big wreck for this early in the race. You kind of have to wonder what happens with the 9 of Jordan Parker. Obviously, he was leading early. He looks like he got some major contact on the wall. We're going to try and look and see if he kind of sits in pit road for a bit. 4 drivers stayed out, so I wonder if this may also be a fuel strategy. Obviously, Joshua Mason was not involved in the accident. Carden Hansen did catch a piece of it. Deeds was not involved, and Joey Beam actually caught a large piece of it when Trenton Sidden turned back down the track. That is a very large wreck for lap. I think it was lap 4 or 5. I don't understand. I mean, I understand the aggressiveness, but at the same time, there's 12 people, and if you lose one spot, it's not like you're losing 40 like at Daytona. You're losing, maybe 2 or 3. And at Vegas, if you save your tires, you can get those spots back. The driver in me does not agree with a move like that. Obviously, Jordan Parker wanted to block it, but it looks like he got loose on the exit of 2. So I might try and grab his opinion on this. Jordan Parker, this is Owen in the booth. Do you got me?
Yeah.
So obviously, it looks like you may have caught the apron and slid up in front of Trenton Sidden.
No, not even close. Lucas shoved me into turn 1.
Oh, Lucas got you into 1. I did not catch that part.
Yeah, Lucas pushed me into turn 1 to get me past Trenton, and I carried way too much speed, more than I wanted to. And I did clip the apron because I was carrying a lot of speed, and the car wouldn't hold the bottom, and I tried to keep it in front of Trenton. And at that point, I don't think Trenton was lifting. He was just committed, and it was there on.
So, obviously, the pace car now puts you a lap down. How does this affect the rest of your race from a driver standpoint? And, how much damage do you have right now currently?
I got 3.5. I came into pits with about 4.5.
You got from a wall tap?
Yeah, from a wall tap. Plus, I took a kind of a big shot from the back with Trenton.
So obviously it looks like Hess and Beam got made. Hess, I think, got the brunt of it because he got turned into the outside wall in front of Trenton. Tanner's actually the car that caught him. I don't know if you caught that on the broadcast, but that's a big... I mean, as a league owner, how do you view that wreck this early in a 175-lap race?
It's way too aggressive, way too early for absolutely no reason. I don't know why we're running like that. We have 175 laps, and we're 5 laps into a already won caution.
So, I mean, at this point, are you fighting for 9th and hoping you get the free pass? Obviously, no one came out of pit roads. Obviously, of the 4 people who were majorly involved in that wreck, none of them have left pit road yet. So, I mean, are you kind of just hoping that you get a guaranteed free pass and stay 1 lap down?
Yeah, I'm racing Trenton right now in the first stage as they're going green, so I missed everything. But I mean, Trenton's not even out of pit road yet, so we're just gonna buy our time with this race in the first stage. And then,
well, I'm gonna go ahead and put you back in Parker Motorsports and let you get your stuff figured out. Good luck.
Sounds good, buddy.
All right, we are back green. I thought they were 2 to green. They were not. Lucas Lewis leads. David Callahan second. Looks like Tanner Siddon in the 96 in third, fighting with Christian Mullen in the 5 for that position. Lucas Lewis seems to be having internet issues. This obviously is not new for the 24 of Lucas Lewis. It'll kind of sort itself out and then, kind of blink out every now and then, but Lucas kind of understands that and sometimes will be relatively conservative with his moves to make himself predictable, but obviously you see the 81 of Callahan. Doesn't really trust that, tries to stay on that top side as Corey Rainey actually almost puts Christian Mullen 3 wide. It's getting relatively aggressive here. Lewis moves to the top side, possibly to let it... Yeah, it looks like he's letting everyone by due to his issue. As Christian Mullen now moves to third, fighting with Joshua Mason. Joshua Mason was the last driver in qualifying. He's now moved up to third, or fighting for third with his teammate of Christian and Mullen. Obviously, now the 2 best qualifying Parker Motorsports cars are no longer, in the top 2 spots. You have Parker, who is involved in the last caution, who's now a lap down and fighting to stay 1 lap down for the Lucky Dog. And then you have the 24 of Lucas Lewis, who just dropped back due to internet issues. Obviously, Lewis still has a fighting chance once those get resolved. Jordan Parker is kind of relying on a little bit of luck here and the damage to kind of stay away as he tries to stay ahead of Callahan, the leader. Jordan Parker is going in... I believe this is coming out of 4. Yeah, so he's coming out of 4 as the leaders. David Callahan are going into 3, so I don't know. I don't know if he'll stay 1 lap down. I think he's going to need a little bit of a miracle. I think he needs kind of a lucky break with a caution. You see Tanner Siddon in the 96 try and make a move for the lead. We did have a few protests last week from Daytona. I don't believe any major penalties were handed out. I know that the 3 of Carden Hansen did have that issue with the 5 of Thomas Adams. I don't recall what action was taken there, but I do remember there was some consequence. As we see David Callahan David Callahan's really making this outside work. When I ran this race, obviously in the fall race last season, the top side was kind of a... Oh, you see Carden Hansen go wide in the 3 there in the back. Sorry, I just saw that out of the corner of my eye. That might be a little bit of netcode because of all the issues with Lucas Lewis. You see John Dees is actually still slow in the back. I don't know if maybe that's by design or what. It looks, relatively aggressive here. We're going to go ahead and ride around with the 5 of Mullen here in the back as I try and get to him. So obviously Mullen is up here on the top side. Not really the preferred line here at Vegas. You really want to be on that bottom, especially to save tire. The top side really is just for, if you get that big of a run, being able to take a run like that. So, I mean, it's still viable, but it's definitely not the preferred line here at Las Vegas. As he actually gets stuck behind the 96 of Tanner Siddon. You see him kind of lift off a little bit to give him room. And now you see, I believe that is the 3 of Hansen below Mullen here. As Callahan and Rainey are actually in a fight for the lead here. We're going to go ahead and ride along with that. David Callahan in the 81 was running really decent at Daytona, was kind of on a separate strategy from a lot of drivers, was involved in that big one on the back going into 3, I believe. A lot of good drivers were taken out in that wreck, actually. It's just a miscommunication, I believe, between Parker Motorsports teammates. It was the 24 Lucas Lewis getting turned by the 5 Christian Mullen, if my memory serves me correctly. So, I mean, really what you're looking at right now, if you look at the left side of your screen, you're looking at that gap to John Deeds. That gap might be going up because I think Deeds might be saving tire or he might be saving fuel. I don't know what a fuel cycle is in these cars. That's likely something I will ask during the stage break to the stage winner or someone like Jordan Parker. So Deeds may be playing a strategy game, or he might just be playing a self-preservation game. He knows he's guaranteed at least 8th. Like right now, John Deeds is going to be 8th. That's not a question. You know, he's guaranteed 3 stage points right now as long as, you know, Parker doesn't come out. As Joey Beam actually comes out of pit road, 12 laps down. So that kind of secures... Parker's going to get the free pass no matter what, essentially, at this point. He's just kind of hoping it comes before he goes 2 laps down. That way he can get his lap back. But right now, I think he's just looking for a caution for damage more than the free pass currently. Joshua Mason fighting with Tanner Sidden for 3rd still. Like I said, Josh Mason trying to come back from a poor qualifying effort. You see the 24 of Lucas Lewis starting to come... Actually, Josh Mason looks like he backed off a little bit. I don't really know if I understand... we see the 5 of Mullen in the wall. That's big for Mullen. Obviously, we saw the wall tap from Jordan Parker in the first caution. Jordan did inform us that he had 4.5 minutes of repairs due to the wall... Oh, I guess not a wall tap. The wall slam that he had off of 2. David Callahan looking to chase down Corey Rainey as Rainey passed Callahan for the lead. You know, Rainey relatively quiet on the mic. Very clean and is very fast. I mean, I wouldn't really say he's a dark horse. He doesn't usually start. He either starts up front and fades back or starts further back and works his way forward. It's kind of not... There's no middle ground for Corey Rainey. He's either moving through or falling back, and I think, you know, some of that is due to how aggressive you can be at certain tracks, and, you know, at what point do the tires kind of disagree with how you're driving the car. Obviously at Vegas, that's when you start to see people kind of migrate a bit more in the top line. You're not seeing that as much today because of it being nighttime. So you're not really going to see as much. So obviously in qualifying, when you were riding along, you saw them full throttle. We're going to go ahead and ride along here with David Callahan. And I think you're going to hear him lift going into the corner because the tires are starting to wear out. And that's, you know, what you have to do to stay on the bottom here. Yeah, you hear Callahan right there. Lifts out of the throttle. He's actually out of it for a long time to stay on the bottom. Rainey slides up and carries a little bit more speed, but that's also wearing his tire because he's sliding it on that surface. When you slide that tire laterally, or as normal people say it, sideways, when you slide that tire on its side, it's going to wear, it's going to, you know, pull that tire a little bit more. If you kind of are a little bit slower and you keep that car pointed as straight as you can, it's going to wear a little bit less because that rubber isn't getting pulled around. It's more just kind of sitting under the car. So letting off like that and kind of letting the car point out of the corners is a little bit better of an approach long run than Rainey's approach of sliding out of 4 like you saw that last lap. So the field is starting to get spread out. You still have the battle with Mason and Sidden for 3rd right there. Lucas Lewis is filed behind that battle back into 5th after having to drop back for internet issues. It looks like it's a bit better. I've still seen him disappear every now and then, but nothing major. Deeds actually has gotten by the 3 of Hansen, who looks like he may have had an issue. He's starting to catch the 5 of Mullen. Deeds has actually started losing a bit less time than earlier. So I believe he is playing the long game here with Rainey, Callahan, Sidden, Mason, Lewis, and Mullen. I think he's going to get Mullen in the next few laps. Mullen, you know, it's pretty common. You see Mullen burning up his tires. Looks like Mason is starting to fall back again as well, as Lewis is going to clear him for 4th. So I'm trying to find the closest battle here. It looks like it's going to be the 5 of Mullen and the 22 of Deeds. I will say right now your biggest mover, Corey Rainey +8, Joshua Mason +7, and then David Callahan +6. I don't want to go over biggest losers because that sucks. As we see the battle here for 6th, it seems. I don't really know how much of a battle this is going to be. I think Deeds is really going to have the tire advantage here on Mullen. He's just kind of looking for an opportunity. I think once Deeds finds that opportunity where he can get by Mullen without tearing up his stuff too bad, I think you'll see him take it. I think you'll see him kind of pull away from Mullen. But I think he needs to make that move relatively quick because he just lost 3/10 in 1 corner because of it. So yeah, you really, as Deeds, you want to get moving around this car, but at the same time, you're kind of committed to this tire strategy. Actually, Jordan Parker might pick up a position here. Carden Hansen, maybe going a lap down. He's on pit road here in the 3. He may have damage. I'm not quite sure what from. I'm not seeing anything major on my end. Yeah, I don't see anything from Carden here. Oh, it looks like he went off track. So let's go ahead and look at what happened with Carden Hansen. We're going to go ahead and play here. Oh, he hits the wall, slides down. Oh, he hits the grass pretty hard. Does he get back into the wall again, or is that kind of the end of... Oh, he gets loose. So he might be going in for tires. Oh, it looks... Yeah, that right side is dragging. You can see the sparks. So now we... Obviously, Carden back on track. He is 2 laps down behind the 9 of Parker. That actually is going to help Jordan Parker. That propels him up a place. He's now in a position to get 3 stage points instead of 2. Jordan Parker is really just kind of, trying to get his way through the field right now, as we actually see David Callahan starting to fall off a little bit. John Deeds has not been able to pass the 5 of Mullen. You see this kind of jostling back here between the 96, 88, and the 24. This is for 3rd spot. So realistically, they're looking for as many stage points as they can get. There's about 17 laps still to go in the stage. They're 2 seconds behind the leader, so really what they're trying to do is maximize the points they're getting now before anything crazy happens later. So really what they're looking for currently is they're looking for a little bit of chaos in front of them. They're looking for those tires to wear off before theirs do. They want those positions. They want that 1 or 2 more points. That's why they're fighting so hard for 3rd, even if they can't get to the front of this pack for the stage. As you see, Mullen and Deeds, that battle's kind of cooled off. The battle we're going to follow here is going to be this battle for 3rd. Deeds looked like he had some sort of strategy. I think he got stuck behind Mullen, and that car kind of hasn't really been the same. You're going to see Mason here actually take a peek at the 24. As we're going to go ahead and ride along with that 88 here. Obviously, you see the rear end of that Clarience 24 machine. You see it disappear every now and then. Oh, Mason gets a little bit slidey into 3 here. It's kind of interesting. I don't know if that's by design or if that's just the tires kind of wearing out a little bit. You'll see Lewis peek to the outside of the 96 of Sidden. Carden Hansen on new tires, trying to get through all 3 of them. Hopefully this doesn't pose an issue for this group, as he's going to... Actually, he might run to the back of the 96 here. He's searching everywhere for that spot. Yeah, Mason probably was smart to back out there when you have a lap car being that aggressive for position, especially 2 laps down. Carden Hansen might lose it here under the 96. Hansen might turn back up here. Ooh, the 3 of Hansen just lost it on the bottom. Bottom of 3, kind of forced the issue a little bit. I'd argue unnecessarily. Results in almost a pretty bad accident for the leaders. If that would have happened, I think it's likely that you see some sort of major penalty given to the 3. Just knowing how the admin body of this league works, is Carden's still going to try and make a run at a 3. Carden is extreme. He's going to get loose again. So Carden Hansen is racing incredibly, there's no one around him. He's not going to go back on the lead lap with 13 to go. He's 2 laps down, so I don't really understand the intention here. He's really shoving his nose under these lead lap cars. Obviously, it is within his right to do so. I just think it's a little bit aggressive for stage 1. And considering Jordan Parker's going to get... Oh, Jordan Parker goes 2 laps down, actually. Him and Hansen are now racing for the free pass. Jordan Parker right now is going a lap down to Corey Rainey. So Carden Hansen realistically is about 3 seconds behind that 9 car and on fresher tires. With less damage, that's going to be major. You can still see a little bit of that right side damage on the 9 car. Obviously, you saw a little bit on the 3 still. So back here, that white car, that's the 3 of Carden Hansen. They currently are the two fighting for the free pass right now. I think whoever gets this... Oh, Parker actually gets in the wall again. Hansen right now, if he doesn't get this free pass, I don't know if he ever gets back to the lead lap. Same with Parker. I think Beam, Hess, and Sidden really are just hoping for a bit of chaos. They need some people out of this race. 12, 14, 17 laps isn't really possible. I don't think it's realistic. I would hope that you don't get that many cautions. I'd be a little concerned if you did. So we're just kind of... I mean, Jordan wants a caution now. So he wants a caution now, and then he wants the stage caution. Because he wants to get that free pass, make sure that Carden stays behind him. And then if he gets that caution now, he'll be one lap down. And then stage caution, he'll be back on the lead lap. But it looks like the 3 of Carden Hansen actually might get by the 9 of Parker here. So you really have to wonder what Parker's going to do to try and stay in the free pass position. This is Parker's first, race for a position since his accident. Parker's actually going to let him go without a lot of fuss. Obviously, he can't do much with Carden being on newer tires. And that honestly might be the nail in the coffin for Jordan Parker's race. I mean, that's really not what he wanted to see. Yeah, I think... I mean, his best bet right now is if Carden loses it again. And with how aggressive Carden is running these cars, it's very, very possible that someone like Hansen can run into an issue. As Hansen's going to go ahead and clear up here. We're going to go back to this battle for third. Still, these same 3. It's the 24 of Lewis, the 96 of Sidden, and the 88 of Mason. So 2 Parker Motorsports cars and the Sidden machine. Mason actually, it looks like he might have gotten in the back of the 96 there. You can see the tires starting to wear out as they start to migrate to that top side. As we're starting to move towards 5 laps. Actually, Hansen goes 1 lap down, so Hansen's going to be in the lead lap at the end of the stage. So Hansen's really going to steal that away from Parker. Parker is likely livid right now with that 3. Because not only is he taking the free pass from Parker, he's going to be back on the lead lap for doing so, even after going 2 laps down. And that right there shows you how much new tires can mean. Even with 20 lap older tires, Hansen was able to fly. I think Hansen could honestly have the fastest lap of the race. Going into the second stage. Hansen really kind of can relax now. I don't think he will, just knowing his style. But Hansen realistically could relax now. He kind of has that free pass in the bag. So Hansen will be 8th, Jordan Parker will be 9th, and Joey Beam will claim the last points position in 10th. Those 3 spots are kind of already locked up. As you see, the 96 of Tannerson actually gets in the wall in 1 and 2 here. Joshua Mason and Lucas Lewis, well, Lucas was ahead of him. Joshua Mason will go down the inside of him. We see the 51 of Hess. It looks like he's sitting behind the 22 of Deeds. I'm going to go ahead and step away from this battle for a second. I want to look at this battle for, looks like 6 is heated back up here. Deeds has tracked down this 5 again with Hess behind him. As with Hess being a lap car, I think Hess will kind of relax a little bit. Deeds with that, well, he's looking to go low, but it looks like Christian Mullen's going to pull that car to the bottom and try and... Aero blocking really isn't as big in these cars, but it does still play an effect. He's going to, I guess, dump the dirty air on the 22. It's not going to shoot the car high like it does in the current generation of cars, but it will affect... Actually, a lot of drivers just lost time here. I think... Did Mason get in the wall? I think Joshua Mason might have gotten in the wall here. I want to look back at this, because I think... Mason lost a lot of time here. Oh, he did. Mason and... So Mason and the 24 of Lucas Lewis, so... Oh yeah, Mason hits the wall hard. The 96, the 24 actually doesn't hit the wall. That is on me. So you see, this battle is still heating up. Coming to 3 to go here with these guys. Yeah, this is a major battle for third. I kind of want to sit with it through the whole stage, but I think we're gonna have to watch Rainey for that last lap, which is maybe a little less exciting than this. Oh, Lucas actually pulls down and tries to get the side draft of that 96. 96 is forced to sit behind him. Deeds was able to pass the 5 of Mullen during this. Hansen actually goes another lap down, so Hansen's actually pulled another free pass away from the 9 of Jordan Parker. So Jordan Parker, like I said, likely is livid right now with this 3 car. He actually hit the wall again, it looks like. As we're going to go ahead and play. This is, again, out of 4. Hansen, a lap car, nails the wall, and just makes the same mistake. Actually, that might be the lap early. Actually, that's the early incident. It's fine. We are going to go back to Corey Rainey, as he is going to cross for the white flag here in Las Vegas for the first stage. He's looking to put that 41 of Joey Beam a 13th lap down. Carden Hansen will likely get the free pass here. He'll go 1 lap down. Jordan Parker is going to kind of get locked out of that position after Carden's incident. Kind of wishing that it never happened. Actually, sorry, that was the incident. It was the same exact incident that happened earlier. So Carden actually made the same mistake off of 4 and lost the position. Wow. Okay, so yeah, Jordan Parker's not going to be happy about that. But Corey Rainey is going to cross the line to finish first. I believe we should see the caution fly soon. I believe we should see the caution fly soon. I just got word. It's actually lap 50. Okay, 5 laps to go. I am sorry. That is different than what it said on the race check-in. This is, I'm going to have to start looking at the driver meetings. Oh, Lucas Lewis almost gets into the side of Tanner Sidden. Sidden probably, so Sidden actually, Sidden almost right hooks Lucas Lewis there. They're not happy with each other. Sidden was unhappy with Lucas Lewis after the 500. So it is likely you might see that rivalry continue at least through tonight. You see them already starting to get a little bit rough with each other. A big thing for Jordan Parker is you have Carden Hansen is now back behind this 1 car. If Carden Hansen can get around the 1 by lap 50, which is what Jordan wants. Actually, no, Carden Hansen is going to get loose here off of 4. Carden Hansen just kind of hasn't. I'm going to go away from Carden Hansen because I feel like every time I go to him, he's almost wrecking. Corey Rainey obviously led most of this race. He's up 8 positions. So is Joshua Mason up 8 positions. And then the next best car is David Callahan up 6. Everyone else, for the most part. I mean, everyone that moved up is up by at least 3. Only 5 drivers have gained position. Tanner Sidden has stayed the same. Lucas Lewis has lost 1. Christian Mullen has lost 1. Jordan Parker has lost 8. Joey Beam has lost 3. Caleb Hess has lost 7. And Trenton Sitton in the 99 has lost 9 positions. So Corey Rainey, 2 to go, I believe, coming out of 2 this time. Carden, has fallen back, so I really don't think Jordan Parker's going to be happy with that. You know, Hansen had the tire advantage and threw it away for the most part. Actually, there's a battle back here for, looks like 4th. Yeah, this is a big battle here. So you have the 96 Sidden. You have the 88 of... Oh, there's a caution early. I'm not entirely sure what for. Unless that's the stage. They threw it on 50. Did they throw it on 50? They might have thrown it on 50. I don't see a caution. Like, I don't see any wrecks. So they might have thrown that a lap early here. I'm not entirely sure. Alright, well, Corey Rainey's going to win the stage. Just crossed for lap 51. I'm not entirely sure. I will have to ask him during the... Actually, let me ask race control. Alright, I am going to wait until after the pit cycle. That way Rainey can get through his pit box. I don't know what the call is here for Parker. You kind of don't have a lot of options at this point as a driver. I'm just not entirely sure. So it looks like there was a cause for the caution that my SDK was not picking up, so I'm waiting on confirmation from race control as to who that was. That way I can show that incident when we start stage 2 or after stage 2 kind of calms down a little bit. I'm really not sure. I want to say it was the 41 of Beam. Oh, sorry, there was no accident. The caution was just thrown a lap early. Cool. So Corey Rainey, obviously in his box, taking 4 tires. John Deeds, you see in that 22, actually missed his box here. So you're looking really for, that race off pit road. As it looks like it's going to be the one of Corey Rainey, then Callahan, then Lucas Lewis. John Deeds will actually pick up 4th, Tanner Siddon in 5th. Waiting for some more drivers to come out of pit road here. If they will come back around. I think that's it. I think, all the other drivers might be pitting for some side damage. Christian Mullen comes out in 6th. Yeah, I think it looks like everyone else is kind of pitting for damage right now. Card Hansen is beginning to come out of pit road. So, Corey Rainey here seems to be your stage winner. So I'm going to go and pull him up. He doesn't really have a choice. Corey Rainey, this is Owen in the booth. I waited till after the pit cycle. You copy?
Yes, sir. What's up, man?
So you won the stage. You kind of ran away with it. I believe you were 1.5 or 2 seconds ahead by the caution. Obviously, it was thrown a lap early. But really, I don't think that affected anything major. It's just a lap longer of a stage 2. Stage 2 realistically is going to be shorter than stage 1 because of the pace lap starting it. So how do you approach a slightly shorter stage like stage 2?
Well, when that caution came out, I think it was lap 5. We went ahead and took tires just to experiment with some things, and it kind of worked into our favor. What we're trying to do now is to get the 22 up here to lead some laps and win the next stage, and then hopefully me and him can finish 1-2 at the end of the race.
All right, well, I did not realize that y'all would already be going green, so I'm going to go ahead and move you back before I mess you up. Good luck, and we'll see how that tire advantage plays out.
All right, appreciate it, man.
Yeah, you too. Okay, that was Corey Rainey of the One Top Golf Machine. He's your Stage 1 winner. He will be starting first in Stage 2. Lucas Lewis chose the top side. Callahan, who came out of pit road second, actually decided to follow the one of Rainey. I guess looking to get a quicker start. Or I guess it's easier to start behind the leader than it is to start beside the leader. So I can honestly agree with the decision by the 81 there, especially, with as short a stage as we have. So we're about to go green here at Las Vegas once again. Corey Rainey will be the control car. Corey Rainey will shoot off David Callahan already to the inside of Lucas Lewis. That is exactly the start that Callahan chose the inside for. Callahan looks like he will still be stuck on the inside of Lewis. Actually, no, he'll clear now. You'll see Lewis slide to the bottom. Tanner Siddon stuck on the outside of John Deeds. Deeds actually did gain a spot or two on pit road. Looking to join his teammate Corey Rainey up here. As Lucas Lewis is kind of switching between the lines. Actually gets Deeds looks like tight or loose or something. You see him wiggle in the middle of 3 and 4 there. Callahan seems to be sitting in the lead now. I believe Callahan is kind of pushing a bit more. Rainey seems to be saving his tires a little bit. So it's really kind of a cat and mouse game on what you think your tires are going to do. I don't see Jordan Parker actually in this lead pack. Parker's actually 3 laps down, so he might have taken damage again and come back out. Not entirely sure. Actually, yeah, he came back out with Hansen again. So Hansen actually got the free pass to go 1 lap down and then went another lap down. So obviously Parker's not going to be happy with someone like Hansen. Obviously, Parker kind of wants redemption after, the kind of crazy ending of Daytona. You see Callahan kind of running away. Some of that is because he's not having to battle the rest of this pack, and some of it is because, he might be pushing a little bit more. Same with someone like Tanner Siddon, who seems to be going through the pack very quickly. You kind of have to look at who's using up their tires early in this race. And, someone like Callahan, I think Callahan's starting to realize now maybe he's going a little bit too hard. I still think that top side isn't really the place to be or something like that. But if that's what he thinks is best, then, I'm not the driver here. I would love to be, but I'm not the driver here. So John Deeds, obviously his best position of the night. He's up to 4th now. fighting for that position with Joshua Mason. You might see someone like Corey Rainey, you know, kind of hold up that bottom to let Deeds go up around the outside. Corey Rainey could easily be playing ringleader for his team here. As you see Rainey kind of go down to block that 88. So it looks like he is letting Deeds go through. Yeah, as you see Deeds drop to the bottom. Ooh, Deeds gets loose. Deeds is losing it. He saves it, but I don't know if he's done. Yeah, Deeds started losing it in 3. Kind of, I mean, you can see him get loose there. I want to watch that again. So we're gonna go ahead and play this. So Deeds, you see, kind of, he's gonna pass Rainey here. And then you're gonna see when he cuts to the bottom, you see his fronts kind of keep going, and that's a great save there from John Deeds, which is kind of not what you want when you're trying to get back up to the field like that. So I mean, a great save nonetheless, but he is gonna lose a ton of positions due to it. Now that his tires are a little bit, you know, they're heated up, but they're too heated up. So Deeds falls back to 7th. He is now the last car in the lead lap. He's got the 51 of Hess, a lap car behind him. The 99 of Sidden, a lap car behind him. So pretty much single file. Mullen looks for a move on the 24 of Lewis. Lewis might be trying to play a little bit more conservative this stage. He kind of saw what something, you know, playing a little bit more conservative could do for him. I believe the stage is ending lap 100 based on the fact that, you know, stage 1 was 50. So, you know, really looking here to see who can do what. So we see, yeah, once again, everyone kind of single filed out now. It looks like Rainey actually fell back. Obviously, we heard Rainey say that he wanted to get Deeds up here. Looks like he's kind of holding back the 5 and the 24, the 2 Parker Motorsports cars. The only concern now, especially with Deeds, is does Corey kind of wait too long to get Deeds these positions, and then it costs both of them? Because obviously Deeds' tires are a little bit shy. You see him get squirrely again here in 1 and 2. Deeds is very much a fan of Corey Rainey right now. Obviously, they're teammates. They're communicating. You know, that's big, especially when you're trying to pull off a move like this. The big thing I would say, though, is that Deeds kind of wasn't able to make the move stick the first time. And, you know, you might see him kind of hesitate on a move now after an incident like that. We're going to go back up here to the lead. Nothing major. This 3-car breakaway before you get all the way back to Rainey, who's 8/10ths back from Joshua Mason. There's a good chance that all 3 of these guys are burning their stuff up, and there's also a really good chance that Rainey is just really holding those guys, the Mullen and Lewis, behind him. That way Deeds can try to get through. As Sidden's going to go for a move here on Callahan. Sidden to the bottom. He's going to try and slide up here on the exit of the corner. We'll see what he's able to do. As he's unable to clear the Callahan. Callahan's going to get the run down the back. You'll see him kind of pass Sidden into the corner. Sidden likely will get back in front here due to the inside line. Sidden is clear right now. We might see him try and slide up, and he will. Sidden is able to take 100% control of the race lead. You see Rainey kind of decide, okay, enough is enough. Rainey is back up into this lead pack. So I think Rainey kind of gave up on waiting for his teammate Deeds. As Rainey's actually going to ship it to the bottom with Josh Mason. Mason's actually going to get squarely behind the 1 of Rainey. Rainey will pull up to the outside, try and side draft the 81 of Callahan, then dive back down to the bottom. There's a good chance we can see Rainey to the lead by the end of this lap. There's also the chance that Rainey could easily just be trying to get to the lead so he can push everyone back to Deeds again. Once again, we are kind of waiting to see what Rainey and Deeds and how they work together. So Rainey will dive to the bottom here around Tanner Sidden. He's going to take that pretty convincingly. He is clear. He will slide up out of 2. We see Callahan still sitting in 3rd. Callahan really hasn't had an ability to attack ever since Sidden passed him. Everyone that was in Corey Rainey's group actually now is starting to go through. So you see Mullen, Lewis, Deeds is kind of stuck at the back of that group, but, you know, those 3 of Rainey, Lewis, and Mullen are trying to move through the field. Actually, Deeds is able to get around the 5 of Mullen. Mullen kind of, I don't know if he had an issue in the corner or what. Deeds is actually going to miss the apex a little bit out of 2. He may not have the run he wants down into 3. You see the 99 of Trenton sitting in the back of that shot there. Like I said, 17 laps down, not much he can do at this point. He did pick up a position though on the... oh, Joshua Mason looks like he got on the wall again. I did hear that. Did kind of hear that bounce that you don't want to hear in these cars. As Sidden is going to choose high, Callahan makes the choice to stay behind him. Lucas Lewis will dive to the bottom of David Callahan. Looks like he's going to try to clear him. He'll not be able to. As he tries to slide up anyway, he might put Callahan in the wall. He's able to clear, as Callahan, I think, did give him a little bit of extra space after that. Callahan will go to the middle. Lose that spot, possibly Josh Mason. You have to be wary of Mason. Mason's been getting in the wall all night. Mason decides to kind of back out of it a little bit. You'll see him lose a bunch of time due to his inability to stay in the Gaslamp corner exit. He'll have John Deeds behind him. Lewis to the bottom of Tanner Sidden. Behind the one of Rainey. He's going to clear the 96, and he likely will try and make a lunge here at Sidden into 3. Or sorry, at Rainey into 3. So Corey Rainey first, Lucas Lewis second, David Callahan making the move on Tanner Sidden for third. Sidden around the outside of Callahan to take the position back. And Callahan will slide into 4th. Joshua Mason 5th. John Deeds 6th. Christian Mullen has fallen a little bit off of this pack into 7th. He's trying to catch back up to the 22 of Deeds. Callahan is trying to make another lunge at the 96. He will not get there. He's going to try and slide behind him on the exit of the corner. Likely here. Yes, as he slides in right now. Lewis kind of falling back off of Rainey a little bit. Deeds kind of hoping to catch the back of this train and trying to make some more positions, but I just don't know if Deeds has the car to do it tonight. He really hasn't gotten higher than 6th. I don't even know if he's broken into the top 5. He just... sometimes these cars, they don't do what you want them to do. Oh, Mason actually looks like he gets a little squirrely out of the tri-oval. That was interesting. Callahan might have gotten in the wall there into 1. There's a lot going on at once right here. Callahan and Mason side by side. Lewis right behind Corey again. Looks to dive to the bottom. Actually, this might be an incident here. Lewis dives to the bottom of Rainey. Rainey tried to shut the door, was unable to do it. And Lucas Lewis is going to try and fight for this race lead. He is not going to lead the lap, but he will have the line on the inside going into 1. So he's going to try another lunge here. He's going to try and clear Rainey before... ooh, you see Lewis? Yeah, Lewis wasn't able to carry the arc in that he wanted due to Rainey being on the outside. Really what you want to do is you want to dive into that corner while you're right behind the driver and kind of dive under them before they can realize. So Lewis now is stuck on the inside. He's kind of pinned down. He can't carry as much speed into the corner. He's going to actually slide up. He might... ooh. The 96 actually tags the wall. You do hear it minorly. It doesn't look like anything major. You see Joshua Mason sit behind the 96. The 81 of David... oh, 96 actually catches the wall again out of the tri-oval. Trying to set himself up for the corner. You see Mason actually behind him. They're 3 wide for 3rd right now. So it is Sid on the outside, Mason in the middle, and Callahan on the bottom. Callahan is going to be the worst off. You see him back out. Somehow I'm on Deeds. You'll see Callahan kind of resets himself, goes for the move on Mason. It's easier to pick off 1 at a time here than it is to pick off 2. Sometimes you can get a little antsy. You can want to pick off that 2 at a time if that opportunity arises. It's really rare that an opportunity arises that's good enough to actually be true. So you really kind of have to pick and choose your battles. As you see, Deeds move to the bottom of Josh Mason. Deeds will try and move up to 5th. I don't think he's going to be able to do it as Mason's going to have the run on the top side. Actually, got Mullen trying to look on Mason, or is trying to look on Deeds as he is able to clear. There is now a gap here between Lewis and Callahan. Callahan and Sidden seem to be fighting pretty consistently. They have been for the last few laps. They were in that lead pack together that kind of were all over their tires. You kind of see that pack is kind of falling back now. You have Callahan and Sidden 3rd and 4th, Mason in 5th. Rainey and Lewis, who are in that back pack, who seem to be a little bit slower, actually now 1st and 2nd. And then you have Mullen and Deeds, who are in that pack, who are now 6th and 7th, who I think have kind of been... they kind of screw themselves on their battles. I think that's where they lost a lot of their time. They kind of burnt their tires on their battles. Mullen's actually going to get around the 88 of Mason, as those 3 are kind of trying to fight for that 5th spot. As Lewis goes for another dive on Rainey, he's trying everything he can to try and clear him. He's going to slide up. I don't think he's there. Ooh. That was close for the leaders. Lucas Lewis will lead his, I believe, not his first lap of the night. He'll lead his first lap of this stage, or at least of this stint that I've seen. As Rainey's going to charge back to the outside. Lucas Lewis has to kind of, he has to kind of back off, and he's going to have to get a big enough run that he can clear the 1 out of 4. I don't think he's going to be able to do it in 1 and 2, just because of the nature of the turn. I think if Lewis is going to make the move for the lead, he's going to have to get the run on the backstretch, and he's going to have to dive down in 1 and 2, or in 3 and 4, slide up on exit of 4, and park it in front of Rainey. He's going to have to force Rainey to, essentially he's going to have to force Rainey to make a decision. Run through the back of Lewis, or back off and cede Lewis the position. He's not going to put him in the wall, hopefully, but, like a slide job. Just, it'll be on exit of the corner instead of mid-corner. As you see, Lewis tries to go for it again, kind of pins himself to the bottom under Rainey. Rainey actually looked a little bit loose there on the exit. Callahan starts to make another run. Rainey drops to the apron, so does Lewis. Callahan stays back on the banking in the tri-oval. Lewis will continue to follow Rainey. They'll both dive to the bottom. Callahan will choose the middle lane. Callahan just trying to wait for an opening to pass both drivers here. He's actually going to try and go to the outside of Lewis here, it looks like. Lewis is going to close the door. Callahan might look to the bottom as Lewis... Actually, no, Lewis is going to look to the bottom on Rainey again. I don't know if this is the right move. I don't think Lewis can get there in time. Lewis is going to have to be forced to sit behind Rainey. I don't think that was the run you needed to get there. And this three-way battle... Oh, Rainey's actually the one to blink out now. This three-way battle for the lead actually may become a four-way battle for the lead, as you see the 96 of Tanner actually sitting behind this pack here. As Lucas Lewis, once again on the tail of Corey Rainey, trying to get a run to the bottom. Will not take it. He'll actually stay in the middle this time and then diamond back down. I think Lucas really... He's better on entry. I think Lucas kind of needs to focus on the exit more. He gets loose there at a 4, actually. That allows Callahan to open the door. And Callahan is going to look for the... Oh, Carden Hansen's actually in the wall over here. Carden Hansen, I think, has made the same mistake for the 3rd time tonight. I believe Carden Hansen... Yeah, Carden Hansen has made the same mistake, I believe, for the 3rd time tonight. We're going to take another look at this. So he's losing it. This takes up half the... So he loses it into in the middle of 3 and 4. He's still losing it. Saves it, overcorrects. He looks fine, hits the apron, and just goes into the wall. And then this is when we see the leaders go by. And they threw the yellow for it. So the yellow flag did come out for Carden Hansen. So this is big. Carden Hansen, I don't think will get the free pass. Hansen's actually out. It may be given to Jordan Parker. I'm not entirely sure. That's pretty big. I'm kind of asking around, trying to figure out if Parker Hansen's out. Hansen's gone. So I think Parker has to be the free pass. As you see, everyone dive down to pit road. As my resources say, Jordan Parker was he did receive the lucky dog, so he will now be 3 laps down, I believe, instead of, or 2 laps down instead of 3. So he'll get at least 1 lap back, so he'll get 1 more under caution for the stage. That'll come at lap 100. So Jordan Parker right now pretty much guaranteed at least 8th. He's guaranteed 3 stage points. As you see, Jordan Parker actually gets his 2 laps. So Parker's 2 down. Lap 100 will have another caution for stage. Parker will now be 1 lap down. So really, he just needs 1 more caution for cause, and he'll be back in the fight. If Parker's able to get back on the lead lap, if Parker can get back on the lead lap and somehow go on to win this race, I don't think I need to commentate I don't think I need to ever commentate a NARAS race again. I think I've seen it all at that point. This man has gone 3 laps down. He started on pole, got wrecked on lap 5, had 4.5 minutes of damage, and there's now a chance that you can see him win the race if he gets 1 more caution for cause. The problem is the guy both of the ones that caused... The guy that caused... Wow. The people that caused both accidents, Sidon is still in. I do think you could see something from Lewis. I think that's a possibility. Knowing Lewis's aggressive nature. I don't know if the 9 is completely fixed. Let me ask. The 9 looks relatively clean. He did have some right front damage before. Yeah, you do still see it a little bit. I think his biggest thing is trying not to miss the green right now, as I believe Lucas Lewis might actually be going to take it. So Lewis chose the top. They're going into 2, or coming out of 2 right now. You have 7 cars on the lead lap. Jordan Parker is now 2 laps down. What he wants right now, he wants 1 bout of chaos. If he can get that little bit of chaos, he has a chance. He still has 2 minutes of damage based on reports that I've heard. So, he's still waiting. He's still waiting for that damage. His biggest thing right now is, since he's a lap car, he's getting in later than everyone else. So it is costing him, when he's starting the stage, he's starting half a lap back already. So he's already prone to going another lap down because he's damaged and just can't do much. But we're going to see the 24 actually check up a lot as he goes into the restart zone. And the 24 is actually going to get rolling after a bump from Tanner Sidden. Got a massive jump there. I think, I don't know if Lewis pit or stayed out. I know Rainey pit. He might have taken 2 tires. I probably should have paid attention to that. Let me see if it lets me do that. I don't think it does. It does not. Dang. I was kind of hoping it would. I wanted to pull up like the NASCAR graphic of like last pit lap and how many tires they took, because I'd love to know the strategy call. Because Rainey fell a bunch of positions. He's already moved back up to 4th. Deeds jumped a bunch of spots in pit road, which makes me think he took 2. Lewis might have just had a quick pit stop, and Rainey might have missed his box. I really don't... I'm not sure. I'll have to look back at the replay afterwards, but Lewis has a massive gap here with 15 laps to go in the stage. Jordan Parker obviously will receive the free pass here. He's kind of just surviving at this point. He's at the back of this train, so he is not losing it. Oh, we have another caution for cause. I'm not entirely sure what for. It could be the 5 of Christian Mullen. Oh, it's the 5 of Mullen, I think. So you see the 5 here. I'm a little confused here. So you see the 5. Let's follow the 5. He goes into the corner. He's in the triangle. And I don't see what happened. So this is coming out of 2. I mean, was it the 5? Oh, the 5 lost it in 4, hit the wall. Oh, he caught the 99 of Sidden, of Trenton Sidden, and yeah, that was the caution there. That was... Yeah, sometimes when you pop off that wall, you can... Yeah, that's... So here's the big thing now for someone like Jordan Parker. Jordan Parker is now 1 lap down. He's gained 2 laps in the last, 4. Really what you're looking at, you want Mullen to stay on the lead lap. Because if Mullen stays on the lead lap, you have all 4 Parker Motorsports cars. Well, once... At the end of the stage right now, Mullen, if he stays in the lead lap, that would allow Parker to have the free pass. So it kind of depends on where Mullen comes out of pit road and if he's faster than this 9 car. Because there's a chance that one of these Parker Motorsports cars gets trapped a lap down. And I could not tell you who. But what we have seen, we've seen a lot of cars getting loose. We've seen Deeds almost lose it in 3 and 4. We saw Carden almost losing it quite a bit into 3 when he was under another car. especially on cold tires. I think Mullen was one of the people who just pitted for cold tires. So, you know, it's a little bit slicker, especially since it's nighttime now. It's going to be a bit more grip than if it was burning in the day, but, I mean, you go from running on 30 old lap tires to running on, you know, fresh rubber. It's not going to be the same. Jordan Parker's going to get as much damage as he can. He's probably going to pull out of pit road. See, the choose cone, I think, is taking effect. So Christian Mullen will stay on the lead lap, which is great for Jordan Parker. This means that Jordan Parker, as long as no one else goes a lap down and gets in front of him, will be on the lead lap for the final stage. Jordan Parker got wrecked on lap 5, had 4.5 minutes of damage, and is now in a position to be on the lead lap for the last 75 laps of this race. At this point, the first 100 laps don't matter. As long as he has all the damage fixed and his car can still go, he has a great chance to win this race, because I know Jordan. I know how bad he wants it. I know how bad he wants to make up for what happened at Daytona. I know he's going to do whatever he can to win the race. So, you put him in a position to do that, he's going to get as much damage repaired as he can. He's going to go out and push for the thing. Now, I can't tell you if it'll actually work, but I can tell you that that's what he wants to do. So, I mean, it's really... You're going to look and see what this 9 car is able to do here. As we see, Lucas Lewis chose the bottom. John Deeds chose second. Corey Rainey was the first car to choose the top. He actually was third at the time of the choose. That's your top 3. As Lucas Lewis is going to go earlier in the box this time. Didn't need the bump from Sidden. Not going to get the jump he got last time because oh! Corey Rainey missed a shift. Corey Rainey missed a shift. Wow. Okay. Hang on. I got to see this now. Okay. So we're going to ride alongside Corey Rainey. I need to see this from the cockpit. It looks like he just misses a shift. So he's in second. Oh, he stalled. Oh. That's very interesting for someone like Rainey. So Rainey dominated the start of this race. A mistake on a restart could possibly, it's going to set him back. Jordan Parker now has in the position to get the free pass. 10 laps to go. Lucas Lewis, John Deeds. John Deeds was stuck in like 7th and 8th for the entirety of this race. He now finds himself in second. Even if he doesn't win the stage, he's in a good position to get a decent amount of stage points, and that's really what he needs right now. Jordan Parker has actually made some moves. He's 5th in line, I believe. So obviously this car is able to go. Like, he's able to drive this car. If he was on the lead lap, he'd be 6th right now. He'd be behind Rainey. So that car is not 100%. Still has 2 minutes of damage. But it can compete. And every single caution, that car gets a little bit better because there's a little bit less damage on that thing. He's actually, yeah. I mean, he's making moves. He'd be fighting for 4th right now. Jordan Parker very much has a chance to go out and win this race once the final stage starts because he's got 75 laps. He'll only have to pass. Actually, Josh Mason, his label is out. Josh Mason is out. I think he might have had I think his internet might have gone out. I think Josh Mason is gone. Jordan Parker is now against 6 people. Once again, Jordan was able to qualify on pole. I think there's a very real chance that Jordan Parker can win this race. I'm going to go back up to the front. We got a battle for the lead. John Deeds and Lucas Lewis here. John Deeds looking for his first lead of the day. Lucas is going to deny him at the line, but John might have a shot at this as we go to 6 to go in the stage. Caution will fly on lap 100. Lucas Lewis is trying to pin John down to the bottom. Corey Rainey, John's teammate, is going to try and push. You'll see, yeah, Corey's going to push John through here. So the question is if Corey makes... it looks like he made John miss the entry a little bit. Kind of forced Lucas Lewis up the track. That's kind of the danger you play with the teammate game, is Lucas is actually going to side draft him and get another... Yeah, he's going to lead that lap barely. I don't know how fond Lucas is of Corey just pushing Dietz. Oh! Dietz is going to slide up and door Lucas Lewis. Lucas is able to keep the gas in it. You've got Tanner Sidden actually coming back now. He was 4th. It ways back. This battle... Oh, they door again into 3. Coming to 4 to go in the stage. Dietz is now clear. Corey, I believe, does have better tires than Lewis. Lewis is not going to be able to clear the one of Rainey. Rainey's going to go under... There's a very good chance... Tanner Sidden is now at the back of this battle. He's going to look to the top. He's not able to get the run. Rainey's going to start to slide up. Lucas is going to try and stay on the outside of Rainey. Dietz will stay low to pull Rainey along. But he sacrifices his own exit to do so. So it pulls Lucas back up to the 22 of Dietz. Lucas remains in the middle. Dietz remains on the bottom trying to pull Rainey. Rainey blinks. Rainey blinks again. Lucas, second at the line, trying to get to the 22 of Dietz with 3 to go. Tanner behind. Callahan's now joined this battle. It's a 5-way battle for the lead and the stage win. 3 laps to go. Lucas stays on the top side. Dietz is once again clear. Stays on the bottom to protect Rainey. Pulls Rainey along. Callahan remains to stay on the bottom. Lucas Lewis once again stuck in the middle or the top. Tanner Sidden on the top as well. Lucas Lewis is actually able to get around the 22 of John Dietz. John Dietz is slow in the corner. I don't know if he got loose. Lucas will clear the 22. The 81 is actually going to go bottom of 3 on the apron. Under the 22. Looks like he could actually possibly clear the 22 going out of 2. Callahan gets... Oh, Callahan is tight. Yeah, Callahan got pinched there by the 22 of Dietz. Lucas Lewis makes a lap coming to 2 to go. And that could be the move that wins him the stage. Dietz remains second. Sidden and Rainey battle for 3rd. Rainey's going to slide up into the... Oh, they're wrecking. That's Sidden and Rainey. Oh, the 81 of Callahan. Wow. So that'll end the stage. Wow. Okay. Okay, so here's what I see happen. So Corey Rainey is under the 96 of Mullen. You'll see Rainey kind of slide... I'm going to back this up again so you can see it. Rainey is under the 96 of Sidden. He kind of gets stuck in John Dietz's dirty air. And netcode's... Ooh! That's a lot of big cars. Callahan kind of just goes down on his own. That's big damage for the one of Rainey. Rainey looks like he can't... Yeah, Rainey got stuck on the wall. That's major. So now Jordan Parker will be on the lead lap. Lucas Lewis is going to win the stage. That's a major wreck. I believe that was for 3rd at the time. Yeah, that's a big wreck for 3rd. So Lucas Lewis will win the stage. Let me just run through the order. Lucas Lewis will win the stage. John Dietz will finish 2nd. Christian Mullen in 3rd. Sidden 4th. The 51 of Callahan will be 5th. Looks like the 1 of Rainey will be 6th. The 9 of Parker, who will now be back on the lead lap, will be in 7th. Josh Mason, who had to drop due to internet issues, comes back. He'll be in 8th. Sidden in 9th. And Carden, I don't know if that position will pay points because he's not actively in the race. But as of right now, he sits 10th. I don't know if he'll receive a point for that position, though. But that was... If that has a major impact on Corey Rainey's race, that is a big wreck. Because Corey Rainey arguably has been kind of the deciding factor of today's race. The only reason he was back there is because he was trying to help his team. Actually, they put Rainey into 3rd. So it looks like it'll be Lewis, Dietz, Rainey, Mullen, Sidden, Callahan, Parker, Mason, Sidden, Hansen. That'll be your order. Looks like there's still a little bit of jostling. Or sorry, that's a lap car. So jostling for position. I want to see what the 24 decides to do here. That is a major... Yeah, that's big. So you're going to see Jordan Parker. He actually caught the tail of this field before they entered pit road. He's going to get the same amount of time as everyone else. He might actually get more time because they're going to exit on 2 to green. So we're going to see Lucas Lewis here. Pits in. He's got the number 2 pit stall. Obviously because he started 2nd. Jordan Parker, if he was... Now that he's on the lead lap, He's going to probably stay in to fix some damage. I think it's likely that you'll see Parker kind of, sit on pit. Yeah. So they'll pick the left sides up on Parker, as Lucas Lewis is going to lead off of pit road. So it'll be Lewis, and then you have quite a big gap back to Deeds. So it'll be Lewis, and then it'll be John Deeds out second. Looks like everyone else, for the most part, is waiting for damage. I'm not seeing anyone else out of pit road, actually. Yeah, that was a big wreck. So, obviously, Sidden was involved. I think Mullen was involved. Callahan obviously went down to the grass, and Corey Rainey was obviously involved. Callahan's going to come out of pit road third, actually. Gain some positions there. Looks like my SDK is being weird. I don't know why. Hello? There we go. I don't know what that was, folks. Okay, Jordan Parker is out. He's going to be 4th. Jordan Parker just went from 8th to 4th in like the last 10 laps. So Jordan had a minute 56 before his pit. I don't know what he's at now. Obviously, that right front is still caved in a little bit. That right side's still a little bit destroyed. I'm trying to get the update. I'm going to try and get Lucas Lewis in pit road, or in the booth real quick, if I can. Lucas, this is Owen in the booth. You got me?
Yes, sir.
So obviously you won the stage. It was a lap earlier than you were expecting. With your team owner of Jordan Parker coming back to the lead lap after 95 laps, how aggressive do you think he's going to be?
He's gonna be aggressive. I feel bad. All I was trying to do was trying to help him out going into the corner, and apparently didn't help him out enough, and apparently wrecked him. Feel bad, but I'm just happy we got this 24 car stage win. So hopefully we can convert this to a race win.
Yeah, you had a big mover on the outside of Deeds. We haven't seen that outside kind of make a power move like that. So, I mean, is that something you could reach into your bag and pull out near the end of this race if you have a chance?
I hope so. I mean, the reason why Deeds was so good on the bottom lane was Corey was helping him out a whole lot. And with now Corey on the pit lane 2 laps down, that's really going to help me out a whole lot because Corey's probably one of the fastest cars today.
Yeah, I was going to say, a lot of big players kind of got injured in that wreck. I don't know what kind of damage Callahan had. He came out in front of Jordan, which makes me think he was able to repair everything. It looks like he just went through the grass. I don't know what Mullen had. I know Jordan still has quite a bit of damage. So, right now what Jordan wants a little bit of chaos. That doesn't have him in it. According to what I'm hearing, he's got about a minute 10 left. So, I mean, y'all three are lined up on the bottom, it looks like. Is there anything team-wise you do, or do you think you're kind of in it for yourself for the last 70 laps?
I think it might be team-wise, like I'm going to say like last week, might be team-wise towards the end of the race.
All right, well, I'm going to let you go. That way I don't mess up your start. Good luck.
All right, thank you.
All right, that was your Stage 2 winner, the 24 of Lucas Lewis. As we see that, yeah, that was kind of a crazy wreck. That wasn't something I expected. I mean, you could kind of tell something was going to happen when everything was checked up like that. Contrasting to what, wow, there's only 5 cars on the lead lap. Sidden and Rainey are actually 1 lap down. That's, wow. Alright, we are now green from Las Vegas for the final stage. Lucas Lewis gets clear of John Deeds. Christian Mullen will try and follow behind to fill that hole before John Deeds can get down. Jordan Parker likely will try and follow the 5 of Christian Mullen. In a perfect world right now, what Parker Motorsports wants, they want 1, 2, 3. Obviously, they have Lucas Lewis in front, they have Mullen fighting for second, and they have Parker sitting behind Mullen. So, this top 5 right here, Lucas Lewis and the group of 4 behind, they're the only cars left on the lead lap. That wreck at the end of Stage 2 took out a big contender in Rainey, took out actually a pretty big contender in Sidden. It's kind of a dark horse in this race. Mason had to drop 3 laps down due to internet issues. He took the wave around and is now 2. Trenton Sidden has been down since lap 5. because of internet issues. Jordan Parker's actually looking to the top. So Jordan Parker hasn't gotten a race for position in 100 laps. He's been laps down from lap 5 to lap 100. Oh, John Deeds gets loose in the corner. He's sliding up. Jordan Parker gets around. Wow, that was a big slide from Deeds. As you see, Lucas Lewis is now fighting Callahan for the lead. Parker is actually up to third. The big thing you have to wonder now is how does that right front damage kind of affect Parker's tire wear? Because if that damage is cutting into the tire, you know, it's going to wear a little bit quicker than, say, a Lucas Lewis, a David Callahan, a Christian Mullen. Callahan, power move to the outside, is going to get around the 24 of Lewis. Jordan Parker follows. Jordan Parker went from 3 laps down. He's now to second. He's trying to get the lead here from Callahan. I think Callahan, you know, there's a good chance Callahan might burn his stuff. Jordan is clear to the bottom. Jordan is now chasing down the leader from 3 laps down. Oh, Christian Mullen actually gets on the apron. All 4 Parker Motorsports cars are lined up. So it's Parker, Lewis, Mullen, Josh Mason, who is a few laps down, all on the line on the bottom. You see Lewis blink out a little bit. We're going to go ahead and follow Parker here. He's looking for the lead on Callahan. So we're going to ride with Parker. He's gone from 3 laps down. He's now on the inside of Callahan for the lead. You know Parker's going to get aggressive for this move. You really have to wonder how aggressive. And is it to the point of detriment that it puts Parker in a spot that he can't really recover from? My second issue would be, he might be clear of Callahan here. He might be clear of Callahan. Parker has led a lap for the first time since lap 5. 105 laps later, Parker leads another lap. From 3 laps down to your race leader. He's going to try and slide up in front of the 81. The door is not there. Lewis decides to push the 9 of Parker. Parker is going to miss the entry a little bit, be forced to the bottom. He's going to be clear. He needs to get up now if he's going to go. Gets clear. He's to the top. Callahan looks to the apron. He's going to get below the 9 of Parker. Parker leads the lap. As Parker's going to try and ring the outside in 1. Callahan is clear. It's likely you'll see another slide job out of 2 here. Callahan slides up. Parker follows. Parker could look for a dive here into 3. Callahan expects it. Goes low. Parker goes to the middle, looking for a run out of 4 into 1. Parker still on the top. Is going to have the run onto Callahan. Callahan stays low. Parker side drafts the right rear of Callahan. Lewis blinking behind. Lewis kind of stuck watching this battle from 3rd. Mullen dives for 3rd. This is teammate versus teammate right now, and Callahan is just kind of watching behind him. Parker up into the wall possibly. On the outside, gets the run on Callahan. Callahan stuck on the bottom. Parker still in the middle. He's going to have the run here on Callahan. Callahan got pinched on the bottom due to all the chaos behind him, and due to Parker's move to the outside of 2. Parker, once again, leads another lap. Still has a minute of damage on that car. So you have to wonder how aggressive he's being to keep that car up there and trying to hope for another caution behind him to get the rest of the damage fixed. Parker leads. Christian Mullen to the outside of David Callahan. Clear. Lucas Lewis to the outside of Callahan. He's going to try and dive down. Lucas Lewis could be clear by the time we get to 1. Lucas is clear. Deeds to the outside of Callahan. Parker Motorsports occupy the first 3 spots. John Deeds in 4th. David Callahan and Tanner Siddon fighting for 5th. Corey Rainey Siddon's a lap down. So Callahan just lost every spot he could. So Parker Motorsports, like I said, occupy the top 3. Deeds looking to change that. Looks to the inside of Mullen. Lucas slides up in front of Mullen, trying to give Mullen the draft. Parker is clear. There's no one behind him. You have to wonder at what point does he kind of relax, save his tire a bit. You know, does he want another caution? Because he has that damage still to repair. You know, what kind of is he looking at in terms of what he wants? So Lucas Lewis is going to get a run here. He's going to look to the bottom of Parker. Parker likely will kind of make it. He'll give him the room. They don't want to wreck again. You know, it's teammate versus teammate. You want to race him with a little bit of respect. But what Jordan isn't going to do is he's not going to, you know, compromise his exit to help his teammates, because there's no point helping your teammates if it screws all 3 of you. He's to the outside. Dees is actually looking for the lead now. Deeds stays low, compromises his exit a little bit. Lewis to the back of Deeds. Lewis might look to the bottom here. Deeds might sense it coming. Lucas looks to the bottom. Deeds looks to block. Jordan still to the top. Christian behind Lewis. Sidden to the outside, but he's a lap car, so not for position, but it will jumble up the order a bit. Callahan's fallen all the way back. Callahan might have some kind of damage, or he might be saving for the end here. Mullen looks tight in the corner. Still Deeds versus Parker. So you have Deeds, who is kind of sitting back at the start of stage 1. Parker, who only got to run the first 5 laps of stage 1. Fighting for the lead now in the final stage of the race. Deeds to the inside of Parker. He's got the nose ahead. Parker back on the outside. We'll try and get the run out of the corner. Sidden is now behind Parker. Sidden of the lap car is kind of going to have to pick and choose who he decides to help. The biggest thing right now for Sidden, if he can get by the 9 of Parker, he won't have to take the free pass. He won't have to start at the back of the field, and he'll be able to fight for position again. That would also give Rainey the free pass if Sidden is no longer a lap down. The biggest thing for Jordan, if you keep Rainey a lap down, you keep Deeds from having a teammate. Corey is a more dangerous teammate, I think, right now than Trent Sidden. Obviously, we haven't seen Trent back in the lead pack since his accident. I think he's kind of been, riding around. He's gained 3 spots due to other people leaving. He's looking for a big caution. Lucas looks to the inside of Deeds on corner exit. Lewis down to the apron. Alongside, he's going to slide back up. He's going to try and get alongside Deeds here. He's going to try and dive down into the corner. Jordan's going to kind of hold up Deeds by putting him in the dirty air. Sidden is stuck behind the 22. Mullen to the inside of Sidden. Mullen's going to follow the 24 exit of the corner. So it's Mullen, Lewis on the bottom. Deeds, Sidden on the top. Josh Mason behind Sidden. And I'm not sure where Callahan is. Callahan has fallen 2.5 seconds behind this lead pack. Lewis to the inside of Parker. Actually, that might have been Lewis's lap. Right at the line. Lewis is going to go way low. Not entirely sure what the plan was there. Lewis is going to likely lose a ton of time here on exit. Jordan Parker clear off of 2. Lewis will slide in behind him. Mullen fighting Deeds for 3rd. Lewis looks back to the bottom of Parker. Lewis might try a slide job here on exit. Lewis is not clear. Actually, he is now. Parker will slide behind Lewis. Will slide under Lewis. Will now look for a similar move. This is opening the door for John Deeds, who chooses not to make it 3 wide on the top, but instead decides to push Lewis into the corner. That's actually going to hinder Jordan Parker's run. Parker will be forced to slide behind the 24 here, cut off the 22, and save the run from the 22 is actually going to go for a run on Jordan Parker. 22 to the inside of the 9. 9 all the way up on the wall. 9 cuts back down. The 22 was not able to stick it. 22 will be 2nd for the lap. Callahan has lost another 2nd to the lead pack. He has some kind of issue. Unless he's trying to save fuel. Like I said, I don't know the fuel window. Parker lines up behind Deeds. Mullen stuck behind a bit of lap traffic. Callahan, 3.5 seconds behind this main pack. Callahan is not really a threat. You have 3 Parker Motorsports and John Deeds. It's kind of like Joey Logano versus Joe Gibbs in like 2018. So you have Parker following Deeds. Lewis in front by about 4/10 that likely will go down due to the draft. Lewis lost to Jordan Parker at Kansas last year by 0.06 of a second. He's looking to redeem himself. Obviously now Parker is his teammate and not just another racer, so he has to race him with a little bit more respect, but I think he would still like to beat him for it. Deeds starting to catch. Lucas Lewis seemed to gain a 10th there on the backstretch. Jordan Parker starting to fade a little bit. I think it's that right front damage starting to show. Rainey is actually back on pit road, so Rainey could have a chance of being done for tonight. Rainey right now credited with an 8th place. He was 7th before pit road, so I think it's unlikely you see Rainey end up back on the lead lap unless you see him try to kind of help Deeds pass this 24 car. Kind of like Bubba Wallace and Tyler Reddick at Las Vegas last year when Wallace was a lap down and was pushing Reddick on the backstretch to help him get to Larson. You could see something like that out of Deeds and Rainey, as Rainey is stuck, several laps down. Parker's fading hard. Mullen's fading hard. I think realistically, anything in the top 5 is a win for Parker at this rate. As we're coming to 50 laps to go, what you really want to do here, if you're Parker, you want to look at strategy. I think. I mean, I don't know really what the best strategy would be. Obviously, he's a really good short run car. I don't think he has a long run speed due to the damage. Because, I mean, he's losing a ton of time now. I think he burned his right front up. Yeah, Parker could be in trouble here. He's going to need another caution to get some damage fixed, or else I don't know if he has a chance at this race. We're going to go back to the lead here. Lucas Lewis, John Deeds. So it looks like I feel like Callahan's drop is designed. It feels too sudden and too unprovoked to be on accident. I feel like it's not a damage thing. I feel like Callahan, like I said, I don't know what the fuel run is. Callahan, if it's possible, he could be trying to go the distance right now. Obviously, if he's trying to go the distance, Lucas Lewis, John Deeds, and Christian Mullen are not. Jordan Parker, I don't know. I think it's a damage issue. I don't think he's saving. So, oh, there's a wreck in the back. I just heard screeching. I heard something. I don't know what I heard, but I heard something. Okay, that was a while ago. I don't know what it was. Yeah, I heard screeching in the back. I don't know if someone just had a slide or... So from what I've heard, you cannot make it to the end of the stage on one tank of fuel. Rainey's actually coming out of pit road now. So Rainey, 12 laps down, is now going to have he's going to be right behind Deeds. So this could be a 23-11 Las Vegas 2024 type scenario, where you see, Rainey come out on way newer tires, shove the absolute crap out of Deeds to get to Lewis. I think Lewis right now is just doing what he can to keep that gap between him and Deeds consistent. It's been about between 0.25 and 0.35 for the entirety of, since he got to the lead. Jordan Parker has fallen back to 4 seconds behind, so is Christian Mullen. Callahan now 9 seconds behind the leader. I think Callahan, I don't know the strategy for Callahan. I don't know what you could see out of Callahan. You actually see Corey Rainey let off to get behind Deeds. So there's a very good chance you see a lot of teamwork here. Rainey behind Deeds, actually. Looking to the outside, might try and get the run. Yeah, you're going to see... Yeah, Rainey's going to push Deeds down the back to try and... You can see how much time they gained. They gained like a 10th for RFD there. The 22 of Deeds, the 1 of Rainey. Rainey is kind of accepted that his race was kind of shot. So he's doing what he can to help his teammate. Deeds actually didn't have a good corner in 3 and 4, so he did lose more time. Callahan's now 10 seconds behind the leader. Parker and Mullen now 5. They're kind of sitting gridlocked. I don't know if... It's become a very interesting race because Mullen could have easily torn his tires knowing his history. I think Parker could have lost his tires due to his damage. Deeds has kind of given up on the idea of teamwork with Rainey as Rainey goes by. Unless Rainey tries to sit in front of the 24. I don't see a world... I just don't know. I feel like if this goes green, this is kind of Lewis's race. The big thing right now is this pack with Jordan Parker and Christian Mullen. This pack right here could prove to be chaos. The 5 and the 88 almost made contact off the corner. They had the 9 of Jordan Parker. That could have been 3 teammates with damage there. I think they need to relax a little bit, especially if they're this far back. Because Mason is not racing anyone for position right now. There's no reason for Mason to be incredibly aggressive. Mullen and Parker I can understand a little bit, but I think they're both kind of wearing on tires. Mullen has gotten the position from Parker. It seems like, at least for now. Obviously, this could change later in the race. It seems like everyone is going to be required to pit under green. I think... I just don't know what we're looking at pit stop-wise. Dees is actually getting back to Lewis. Rainey has been slowing Lewis down, actually. So that's exactly what we thought. Well, not exactly. So, yeah, Rainey's kind of pinned Lewis to the bottom. It's allowed Deeds to get up front. This is likely going to anger Lucas Lewis. Lucas is, you know, he's trying to clean up his act a little bit. He's had some issues in the past, and he will agree with that. But, you know, he's trying to get better. He's done it pretty well. But situations like this where, you know, 2-on-1, you can't do much. I had a similar issue. It was Martinsville last season. We had two teams ganging up on me and Jordan. Like, it sucks to be the odd one out. Obviously, this hurts Lucas's race. Obviously... Oh, Lucas is actually going to pit. Lucas Lewis is in the pit road. Lucas Lewis on the pit road this time by. This is major. So this will kick off the green flag cycle. I don't understand. Jordan Parker's on pit road. I don't know... I don't know. So my assumption is Parker had damage and was unable... He's kind of hoping to pull a little bit here to try and see what he can do. So this will move Deeds to first. He'll lead his first lap of the race, I believe. Or he'll lead again for the first time in a while. Christian Mullen. David Callahan's on the pit road, I believe. David Callahan, I believe, is going on the pit road here. Yes. So Callahan dips off on the pit road out of 4. You really have to watch the penalties here. The timing line is right where that cone is. Callahan is in. Lucas Lewis is 1 lap down. Jordan Parker's still on pit road. Lucas Lewis just gets onto the track. What's going on with the 9? Oh, Parker slammed the wall. That's why he's on pit road. So Parker, who is such a promising, you know, possibility of going out and winning this race after being 3 laps down, looks like his night might be over after another wall tap. Oh, Lucas Lewis into the wall. So, okay. This is getting a little bit crazy now. So Lewis right now is the leader on strategy. Deeds right now is trying to make the distance. I don't know what the fuel run is here. And I would like to know what the fuel run is here. Okay, so word is fuel's about 50-ish laps. So Lucas Lewis from here is good by about 15. The big thing Lucas needs to look at right now is John Deeds is going to have the tire advantage. John Deeds can go another 15 laps, have like a 20-lap tire advantage, and just rip by Lucas afterwards. So Lucas right now, well, he needs to make time on Deeds while he has the fresher tires. He also needs to conserve a little bit and make sure he has tires at the end for when Deeds has the advantage on him. I think right now it's very likely you'll see this race go green. I think Jordan Parker is going to be done for the night when it comes to win contention. Official reports is Jordan Parker's done for the night. He's going to race control. So it looks like Jordan Parker is going to finish 9th tonight behind Rainey and Sidden once they circle back around. So, big night for Jordan, turned not so big, turned big again, turned wall slam. So, Lewis right now, leader on strategy. Deeds and Mullen yet to pit. Sidden in front also yet to pit, but he's on older tires, so it's likely you'll see... Yeah, there's Mullen and Sidden right there. Deeds seems to be way ahead, so I don't know if Mullen is stretching or what. So, Callahan might have been trying to save a little bit too much because I think now he's lost so much time to Lucas Lewis that I don't know if he has that option anymore. Lewis to the inside of Sidden. We'll move him to 3rd. Obviously, Sidden still has to pit. Same with the car in front of him, Christian Mullen. John Deeds is a ways ahead. He's about 9 seconds ahead of Lucas Lewis right now. So Lucas is really kind of hoping for, you know, the longer John stays out, the more it plays into Lucas's hand, but at the same time, the more it kind of leaves Lucas open at the end. I think Lucas took a little bit of inspiration from someone that we both race with, Riley Bennett. He kind of prefers the earlier pit because you can gain so much time on the new tires. And, you know, the guy who stays out longer might get stuck in that traffic of the older tires, you know, a bit worse off than you were. So, I mean, obviously we saw John get loose a few times on new tires. I think Christian Mullen's in the wall. I think Christian Mullen just got in the wall a little bit. We're going to go ahead and rewind this because it's not showing me on SDK. Yeah, I believe Mullen... Oh, no, that was Sidden that got in the wall. Sorry. So Sidden, going into 3 and 4, it just kind of doesn't get an entry. And just kind of ends up, you know, riding along the wall there. Actually, it looks like he just did it again. So, I mean, just continued problems for the 96 here. I believe that was yeah, the 96. There's two 90-somes. So, yeah, he actually made the same mistake again, in 4. So Lewis obviously is third. Deeds were kind of waiting on the pit cycle. Lewis right now is trying to get to Deeds before Deeds pits. If Lewis can get around Deeds and make time, there's a good chance Lewis could be half a lap ahead of Deeds by the time Deeds gets out. And I think it's still manageable if Deeds runs super long to catch Lucas again. I think it's very possible. Deeds might be coming to pit road. No, he's not. So yeah, if Lewis can get to Deeds... Actually, let's ride on board with Lucas Lewis here. So we're looking through Lucas's lens. John Deeds, I believe, is going to be not on screen. But that's who Lucas is trying to chase. If Lucas can catch the 22 of Deeds, there's a really good chance, especially if he makes a lot of time on him, that Deeds, you can see Deeds in 3 and 4 there, as Lucas rounded the corner. So Lucas is looking to make up as much time as he can right now. You still, you know, can kind of hear Lucas on the off the throttle, not pushing the car too bad. Mullen, I believe, is going to pit road. Not sure. He's continuing to lose time. Mullen might have an issue here. I believe he did. Mullen lost just 2 seconds just now. He's not on pit road. Oh, Lucas Lewis blinks out a little bit. I want to see where John is on exit of turn 2 here, because if he continues to gain on John, you know, that's kind of a sign. Christian Mullen goes to pit road. I think a little bit of that is for damage. So Lucas Lewis will move up to second as he comes back around. Yeah, he gained probably half a turn on John a lap, so he's probably gaining like an 1/8 or so of the track. So, you know, he's really doing what he can right now to catch the 22 of John Deeds before Deeds pits. So Lewis moves to second. Everyone is a lap down except for Deeds. So right now what Deeds wants a caution. If Deeds gets the caution, he can pit and stay in the lead. That's kind of perfect world for the 22. What Lewis wants, if there's a caution, he wants it to be after. The biggest problem I see for Deeds right now, I don't think Deeds... I just don't know. He's got to be close on his window. I think he's got to pit in the next 2 laps. It could be this time by. You can see Lewis exiting 2 as John starts to go into 1 or into 3. Deeds is on the pit road right now. Deeds is on the pit road. So now what you're looking for is you're looking to have Lucas Lewis go by. So there goes Lewis. We're gonna go ahead and ride along with Deeds. So Deeds is gonna be on Apparently nowhere. Which I don't know why it's being weird. So Lucas onto the backstretch. Deeds on pit road. I want to follow Deeds if I can. Let's go to the in-car of John Deeds. So Deeds, like I said, sitting on pit road. Left side tires are on. Lucas Lewis, 30 seconds back. He's off of pit road. He's still got the entirety of pit road to go. He's got the 10th pit stall. John Deeds now through. You might see, and there goes Lewis. Lewis is gone. So John has 20 laps on like 20 lap fresher tires to try and catch this 24. He's going to continue to lose time likely until he gets into turn 3. And the second you see him get into turn 3, that time is going to start dropping rapidly. It depends on how quick John Dees can get up to speed and how quick he can warm up the tires. You'll see him run the middle here. Continues to lose time. You can see that time starting to kind of stable out. Now he's starting to gain. So now the chase is on. John Deeds is going to try to chase down Lucas Lewis. He's got 22 laps to do so. He needs, on average, to gain about 3/10 a lap. So really, by the end of this lap, John needs to be at 6.8 behind the leader. That is the gap that John needs. John is going to have to gain, about 3/10 a lap to get to Lucas Lewis. So we're going to look at Lucas Lewis. We're going to watch. He's actually got the draft. Oh, this might be. If this is who I think it is. This is exactly who I think it is. This is playing into John Deeds' favor. His teammate is going to slow up the one. Oh, no, he's not. He's actually going to let Lucas go by. But I tell you what, John Deeds has gained more than he's needed to catch up to this 24 of Lewis. And when you have that kind of tire advantage, it doesn't matter how hard it is to pass the car. You will fly by them no matter what lane you choose. 20 laps to go. Lucas needs to kick it into high gear and hope that Deeds kind of burns his stuff up trying to get to him. Callahan still falling off the back of Lewis. Corey Rainey is continuing to battle the 24. This is going to... the Corey Rainey will end up costing Lucas Lewis the... is going to end up costing Lucas Lewis the win because he continues to fight Lewis. He'll let him by on the backstretch. Deeds gained a lap. Deeds gained an entire second that lap because of Corey trying to hold up the 24. All right, let's take a look through Deeds' cockpit. So Deeds is going to have a really great view here of Corey and Lucas. So that's Corey and Lucas going into the corner, 5 seconds ahead. So Deeds now has gone from needing 2/10 a lap, or from 3/10 a lap, now he needs 2. He's gained that much time already in like 2 laps that he needs less. Looks like he gained 7/10 that lap. He's going to have the tire advantage. So Lucas Lewis is to the point he needs a caution. If Lucas gets a caution, he can pit. He'll stay in the top 3. He can get tires. It's likely that Callahan would pit as well for tires. Deeds would probably stay out because he only pit about 6 laps ago. Deeds is gaining about 3 to 4/10 a lap right now. He's going to be gaining 4. So he's gaining double what he needs to. Lucas right now is running for his life. I believe you still have the 1. Yeah, the 1 is still kind of playing with the 24. So I have a feeling the 24 is team owner and the 9. They're not going to be exactly thrilled with that. Just knowing them, they're not going to be ecstatic about being raced like that. I'm trying to do the math in my head. He might need to make 4/10 a lap, actually. My math might be off. Deeds is starting... The progress is slowing down, but it's still happening because... I mean, like I said, 20 lap newer tires, you're going to be ripping a ton faster. Yeah, he's gained 4/10 before Lucas has even made it back to the line. He's going to gain probably 6 this lap. So with 15 to go, it's likely that you'll get... I don't know if Deeds is actually making the time. No, Deeds is making the time. Never mind. So, Deeds is going to get there. I think definitely by the time that Lucas kind of... By the time he gets to Lucas, I think that'll still be at least... I think it'll be at least 5 to 10 laps to go. I think that's your window right now based on the time. Yeah, because he gained 0.6 that lap. So, yeah, Lewis is kind of in a position, like I said, where he needs a caution. So he's kind of backed himself into a wall here. Pitting early was probably the best strategy for him, because I don't think... I mean, I think if he pits with Deeds, I think he's going to... I don't know. I feel like if he pits with Deeds, there's a better chance he wins this race. I don't know how possible it is now that, Lucas can come out here and pull it off due to just how close, it is. But yeah, the teamwork between the 1 of Rainey and the 22 of Deeds, while they haven't, been explicitly working together, Corey Rainey's been dropping in every now and then and kind of, giving Deeds the tools he's needed to start, inching his way up. Deeds obviously struggled, like we said before, we've covered this 1,000 times. Deeds struggled in the first stage. Lucas Lewis seems to be breaking the draft. I think he knows that Deeds is within drafting range. Lucas actually goes back to the top. He's been on the bottom the whole night. Deeds is going to gain a ton of time on the bottom. He's gained 0.4. Like I said, I don't think... You're 11 to go. Deeds is half a second behind you on 20 lap fresher tires. You're going to have to block like crazy to keep Deeds behind you. Another 0.2 there in 1 and 2. I think breaking the draft at this point is kind of a lost cause for Lewis. Deeds is going to be alongside him on exit of 4. Deeds is going to have the run. Oh, door banging down the... Yeah, I think Lucas knows how desperate this is. He's going to keep the door to Deeds. He's going to try and pinch him into the corner. It's going to slide Lewis up. It's going to pinch Deeds to the bottom. It's going to make Deeds get tight. Lewis is going to be able to side draft alongside him. He's still on the top. He's going to have to keep pinching Deeds. If he can keep pinching Deeds to the bottom, Lewis has the chance. Because you keep Deeds from being able to run the car wide and get the run. This is a very smart defensive driving from Lewis. I think he'd rather just be in front. But it's very smart from Lewis. He's getting a little bit physical. Lewis is not afraid to get a little bit physical, but he needs to make sure he's still alongside. Oh, he's not alongside him anymore. He's actually going to bump him in the corner. He's going to have to get around Deeds. Oh, he turns him! Oh, they're getting turned. Oh, Deeds. Deeds is going to be in the wall. Lucas gets turned as well. Lucas saves it. Oh, that is not going to go over well with race control. I think we need to look back at that. We are going to need to look back at that. So, wow. I mean, this entire battle was crazy. So this is off of 4. We're going to go ahead and just watch this entire battle. So we're going to go off of 4. Obviously, they're still battling. Lucas tries to pinch Deeds. Pulls up. Deeds gets a better entry. Lucas kind of isn't able to pull the car down. Tries to side draft. Bumps him here. Gets under him. Is side drafting him. And looks like a little bit of net code. He tries to get off of Deeds, but just isn't able to. Thankfully, it doesn't look like any damage for both of them, but I don't think that's going to go over well. Yeah, that's really not going to go over well. So 8 to go. Like I said, you're going to see Lewis pit. You'll see Deeds pit. You'll see Callahan pit. Those are your 3. Sit-in is going to get the free pass. So Tanner Sit-in has been a lap down since the end of stage 2. So it's about 70-ish, 65-ish laps. He's going to look to try and come from the very back of this pack here. He's going to try and get back up to the lead in about 5. I think it'll be 5 or so to go. There's a very good chance that's not our last caution. And Lucas Lewis is going to receive an EOL is what I've heard. He was found at fault for the incident with the 22. Yeah, that was just... I understand the urgency. I understand it was netcode. I understand that Lucas was kind of thought that Deeds would be up on the wall. So Deeds will inherit the lead. Callahan will move to second. Sidden, actually, I believe, will move to third with Lucas being put in the back. So the big thing is, I think Lucas's record, especially from last week, is also not helping the 24 in this situation. So Lucas will start on track 8th. He's going to start behind Corey Rainey. That's going to be kind of the kicker for Lewis. I think Rainey's going to kind of hold him up. Rainey's not going to be happy with the 24. He turned his teammate. The only positive for Lucas Lewis is the fact that him and Deeds are now on equal tires. That is the only positive. Everything else, not great. Yeah, starting from the back, wouldn't really recommend it. See, I just actually one to green this time by. I just don't understand the vision there, personally. So Calvin, or sorry, where did I get Calvin? I mixed David and Callahan and somehow got Calvin. David Callahan chooses the outside. We'll go green with 5 laps to the end of the race. Obviously, we have overtime if needed. Lucas Lewis may also lose positions to the 96, the 5, the 88, and the 1 on track. Obviously, he's already behind the 1 on track. But I don't know the extent of Lucas's penalty. He could just start third on the bottom. He could start further back. It kind of depends on how the penalty ends up being enforced. But all that matters right now is the fact that John Deeds just got turned while fighting for the lead and continues to lead the race due to Lucas's penalty. David Callahan kind of just got a second life. He messed himself up a bit on pit strategy. I don't really understand what the idea was. He kind of fell 2 seconds back, but with 5 laps to go, John Deeds will lead the entire field to the green. He's going to get the jump on Callahan. Corey Rainey is going to defend for John Deeds with his life. So Corey will likely just sit beneath Callahan. Lucas Lewis is going to try and shove it up the middle. Or no, he decides to sit behind Corey. He's going to get under Corey, move Corey up the track. He's now behind Deeds. Corey likely will not be happy with that. I think Deeds kind of realizes he doesn't have his help. Lucas moves to the top. Deeds moves to the middle. Callahan to the bottom. Callahan's going to clear Deeds. Callahan. Oh, Corey Rainey getting loose. Deeds slides up into Lucas. Saves it. Rainey might not be happy with Lucas here. It looks like Deeds just kind of went up into... It looks like he just kind of slid up and Lucas was there. So that's probably going to be day over for the 24 of Lucas Lewis. Competitively, it looks like Callahan versus Sidden. Sidden came from a lap down. Callahan came from 15 seconds back. The fight for the win was really 3rd and 4th all along. The 2 fastest guys on track have taken each other out. This has opened the door for Callahan, who was on the lead lap, and it's opened the door for Sidden, who got the lucky dog. Lucas Lewis is probably going to be... Yeah, Lucas is going to be kicking himself for that one. The big thing is he's still got decent points. He's got 3 teammates behind him. Or sorry, 2 teammates behind him. Sidden is just sitting behind the 81 right now. He might be waiting for a move. He might just not have the speed. I don't know what the call is here from the 96 of Tanner Sidden. 2 to go from Las Vegas. Sidden to the top. Callahan to the bottom. Sidden drops low. Callahan remains. Sidden's going to try and get the run on the backstretch. Might try for a run out of 4. Try and make the move and keep Callahan at bay for the rest of the lap. We'll have to see. Callahan to the bottom. Sidden follows. Sidden gaining in the corner. Callahan slides high. Sidden follows. A 10th separates the 2. Sidden to the top. Callahan to the top. Callahan will dive. Sidden will dive with. Sidden half a lane up. Now drops to the white line. Callahan riding the white line. Sidden's going to have the better exit. We'll have to see what Tanner Sidden does. Tanner Sidden made his league debut last week at Daytona. He's going to put into the corner. Does he move Callahan? He's going to try to get to the bumper. He's not able to get there. He'll slide into the wall. David Callahan will win at Las Vegas. Tanner Siddon second. Lucas Lewis seems to finish third. John Deeds gets disappointed in the last 5 laps. He'll finish fourth. Christian Mullen fifth. Josh Mason sixth. Corey Rainey seventh. Jordan Parker will finish the race out in 8th. Trenton Siddon will finish the race out in 9th. Carden Hansen in 10th. Caleb Hess will bow out in 11th. And Joey Beam bows out early in 12th. David Callahan is going to win at Las Vegas and his first win in the NARAS Cup Series. David Callahan apparently is not a big fan of burning it down unless he's waiting for somebody. There he goes. David Callahan, your race winner at Las Vegas. He'll burn it down on the front stretch. Lucas Lewis likely kicking himself after so many mistakes at the end. I don't think there's going to be a lot of happiness from the RFD group with how Lucas raced the 22 tonight. I think when it comes down to it, it all resulted from a poor strategy call from Lewis. It was a good short time gamble, if it worked out and he got the caution he wanted at the end, but you can't be the caution. So Callahan continues to burn it down as we watch from Fisher Studios TV. So I'm gonna go ahead. We're going to look at the results, and then we'll do some interviews, if it lets me do results. Let's look at the results. David Callahan finishes first. Tanner Siddon second. Lucas Lewis third. John Deeds fourth. Christian Mullen fifth. That rounds out your top 5. Joshua Mason sixth. Corey Rainey seventh. Jordan Parker eighth. Trenton Siddon ninth. Carden Hansen 10th. Caleb has 11th, and Joey Beam finishes in 12th, 141 laps down. A few early cautions really changed this race. A big caution at the end of stage 2, but it really was the caution that had a restart with 5 to go that kind of changed the entire complexity. Callahan, who'd been up front at the start of the 3rd stage, fell back 15 seconds, was able to make up for that lost time with a late restart. Wins him the race. Tanner Siddon goes from a lap down to 2nd place. Lucas Lewis goes from leading and being able to fight for that lead within 10 to go. Obviously caused the caution with John Deeds. Him and John get into it again under the restart. Obviously, neither party's going to be happy about that. John Deeds, similar story, finishes 4th. Could have had the win, had fresher tires before the Lewis incident. Christian Mullen finishes 2 laps down in 5th. Just really didn't have the night tonight. Joshua Mason dealt with internet issues, fell to 6th after a pretty promising night in his 2nd race with the league. Corey Rainey was involved in the wreck at end of stage 2, so a lot of stories tonight, a lot of reasons that certain drivers could have finished in different positions. So it really kind of, the interviews here, they're going to be pretty chaotic. So let's go ahead and grab our 3rd place finisher of Lucas Lewis. Lucas Lewis, this is Owen in the booth. You got me?
Yeah.
So obviously, you pit early. You pulled the Riley Bennett strategy. What else could you have done in the end there? Because I feel like personally, you would have been better finishing 2nd to Deeds. Obviously, you want to race for the win. Everyone would. The big problem here is the problem was how it finished. Obviously you had your incident with Deeds on the final restart. You had it with him, before the race even started. How do you view that?
I view it as a good learning experience. I was aggressive all night. I think my dad for the strategy call. It almost worked. I was just trying to be aggressive and try to maintain up there. When Deeds got there, I tried to side draft him there, and just didn't work out really. I feel bad for Deeds until what he did in out of turn 4. So I'm just taking it as a learning experience. We go on to New Atlanta and hope for another chance to win.
I mean, when it comes to New Atlanta, do you kind of go to a clean slate with Rainey and Deeds, or does that grudge kind of stay for the rest of the season?
I don't know. Depends how next week goes. Yeah.
Do you expect retaliation from either Deeds or Rainey next week?
I don't know. I'm hoping that him not thinking or thinking he was clear was retaliation. I hope not, because this 24 car has been fast week in, week out, and I want to put myself in a situation. I want to put the team in a situation of being in race wins, and I don't want any grudges like that.
If you could have, do you think you would have waited to pit when Deeds pit?
Nah, I probably would have waited a couple more laps longer.
Because, I mean, personally, I think your biggest issue was you pit so many laps before Deeds that, yes, you had that gap, but it was only 7 seconds by the time you got out, and he was running you down at the end. Because he didn't have any traffic between you two.
I mean, I was conserving the entire run right there, trying to maintain tires, and felt a little bit I felt tight, and I was like, I have to stay on the outside. The outside has been the best to me the entire night. The outside has been best to anybody trying to pass me on the inside. I'm just...
Yeah, I think personally your biggest issue was when Deeds got clear of you into 1. You tried to bump him and then get under him. That's kind of was the nail in the coffin, because even if you hadn't gotten Deeds down the straight, I think you would have lost that position into 3. So, I mean, obviously it was aggressive. It was an aggressive move. Obviously there's netcode, but I think the history from Daytona, at the same time, like, that hurts you in the long run. So, some races you're just going to have to lay low, especially after the last 2 weeks. So, I mean, like, how do you approach Atlanta is kind of the question.
The same I always was. Be aggressive. I mean, I like New Atlanta in the next gen cars. I mean, I've had 2 wins there in NIS back-to-back, basically. So, I mean, going to Atlanta is a really good experience for me. Just, I gotta hope not to get my nose dirty.
All right. Well, that is going to be all. Good luck next week in Atlanta.
Thank you, man.
All right. That was 3rd place finisher Lucas Lewis. We're going to go ahead and pull up 2nd place finisher Tanner Siddon. Tanner Siddon, this is Owen in the booth. Do you got me?
How you doing, Owen?
I'm doing good. I mean, how are you feeling after your little comeback there at the end?
My car drove like a potato. That's the best thing I could tell you, and I don't know how I got to the 81's rear.
I mean, it definitely helps when there's a little bit of chaos that falls your way sometimes.
Yeah, usually I never get that lucky. Daytona didn't get lucky. This week I did.
So, obviously, you weren't really in a position until the caution, which had 5 to go on the restart. You started like 4th or 5th on the bottom, I think. What was your move how did you avoid the Lewis Deeds incident out of 4? Were you under that, or were you over that?
I was under it. I'll be honest. I knew it was coming. I seen it. I'm just decided to follow the 81. He raced me clean, and I just went with him.
So, I mean, obviously, you got a little bit of a break there at the end. Now that you have a P2 under your belt, you know what it's like to fight for the win at the end of the race in this league. You know what it's like to fight against Callahan at the end on fresh tires. Does this affect how you race other tracks similar to Vegas and how you race certain people?
Some people are, thankfully, some people have apologized for the recent things and stuff like that. So, racing, I'll still be the clean driver that I am and try to stay that way. Intermediate stuff like that, I'll just keep it on the floor and just hope that God it works out for me.
All right, well, I believe that is going to be all from me. I'm going to go ahead and hand you back to the waiting room. Congratulations tonight, and congratulations on P2.
Thank you, Owen. See you next week, buddy.
See you next week. All right, that was P2 Tanner Siddon. We're going to go ahead and pull up our P1 driver, David Callahan. David, this is Owen in the booth. Do you got me?
Yes, sir. I got you.
Finally, someone drove M&M's to victory lane. It has been too long. Thank you.
Yeah, no, this was an insane race. A lot of green flag running, few cautions here and there. A very fortunate caution at the end to really help me out, and a little bit of luck and very little skill. I was able to stay away from trouble at the end and pull it out.
So obviously we saw at the start of stage 3 you were leading, and then you kind of like randomly dropped off 15 seconds. Was there damage on the car, or was that just kind of like you were trying to do something strategy-wise that just didn't work out, or what? What was the call there essentially?
No, no strategy. It was I was still fighting a little bit of right front damage from when me, Corey, and Tanner got into it.
Okay.
I just nicked them a little bit, and I had about 30 seconds worth of required repairs, and I still had like 3 minutes
Oh.
of optionals. But yeah, so yeah, I was fighting it. Also, other guys probably told you, but tires will fall away about 15, 20 laps in.
Right.
So then damage with, fading tires. I was just fading, but then that last caution, I was able to get about 30-ish seconds worth of that damage fixed and just full throttle from there on brand new tires. And I had really good short run speed even with damage, but
a lot. Well, especially at Vegas, because essentially the first 15 laps, they're like a new Atlanta, the next gen car, kinda is how I would explain it. It's like you kind of still apex the corner, but it's full throttle. Especially in these cars with this package. So damage for the first few laps, tires are worth more than aero. But once those tires start to wear, you'll feel that really quick.
Oh, 100%. That's why I was very lucky and very glad that it was only like a 5-lap shootout at the end. Because if it was any longer than that, Tanner would have easily gotten me. He had a quick car. I thought he was going to give me a nudge in 3 and 4, but luckily he played it clean. And I was kind of expecting one, but
I was
clean
too.
driver, so yeah.
Man, I wanted that side by side or something. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I wanted it a little bit.
No, I was expecting it. And I was prepared for it, but I had my fair share of saves and oh shoot moments in this race. Got sent through the grass, and I had the 22 kind of slip up, almost get into me. But other than that, man, it was a very fun race. I want to say thank you to Jordan for hosting it, and thank you for everybody coming out.
So I guess this is less of a you question. Do you think there's going to be repercussions between, like at Atlanta? Do you think there's going to be repercussions between the 22 and the 1 against the 24 Lucas Lewis?
I don't know what all happened. The only thing I know that happened was right there at the end. If anything else happened, I'm not sure. But I mean, I think at the end there, that was really hard racing. I mean, you got a few laps left. You got all these fast cars, fresh tires. I don't know about everybody else, but my car was a touch loose.
Everyone looked loose because there were a lot of people that were like, we saw on broadcast, we had John get really loose into 3 and 4. Cardin lost it several times.
I had a big slide,
there were a lot of loose
1 and 2.
Yeah, I think I caught that.
I mean, yeah, I think the first 5-6 laps, because you're pushing really hard, you're full throttle, and when you're racing, you got all that dirty air and everything, and you're gonna get loose. It's inevitable, and I think that was just a hard racing incident at the end. But if anything else happened, that's on them. I just hope if they do, I'm nowhere near them.
So now that you have a win and you're in the playoffs, how do you approach the rest of the season?
I'm a pretty conservative driver. Typically, like if you've seen Daytona, I didn't qualify, or I did, but I like to lay in the back. But I mean, you got to pick and choose when to be aggressive. A lot of these tracks, like these first 3 tracks that we're doing, are almost full throttle the whole way.
Right.
Like, especially next week.
Yeah, next week's interesting because it's a new combo.
Yeah. So I'm pretty conservative when it comes to super speedways. I'm not a big fan of them. Bump drafting period. I'm not a fan because I just haven't been lucky. Once I start getting lucky, then I'll change that mindset. But yeah, I mean, my plan is to kind of hang out in the back. I mean, and then kind of attack at the end. Kind of similar to what I did here. I was up front in the beginning, and then unfortunately got some damage, and then hung around at the back. But yeah, I mean, right there at the end, just get a little aggressive, and hopefully it works out.
Well, definitely. Well, I would definitely say it worked out. I don't know what you would say, but
Absolutely.
you know, your first win and your second. I believe it's your second start with us.
Yes.
So obviously Daytona didn't really go the way you wanted it to.
Yeah, I got a similar wreck that happened here. I got involved in there where 2 cars got into it, and I just.
It was the big
flipped
one
them
that you got involved in, right? Because I think I remember calling that you were in the big one. Into
possibly, 3. No, this was 1 and 2. I think I was on the top lane.
Oh yeah.
2 cars got into it, and I turned left, but I barely nicked one of the other cars, and it shot me in the wall. But
so,
and I mean, you lose laps there, you're done.
Right. So the good thing is, now that you have the win, you kind of don't have to worry as much about next week, because obviously you're not a fan of the drafting track style.
Yeah, that is true.
So really, I think what you're looking forward to next, you're looking at Auto Club on the 26th.
Yeah, I'm a fan of that track.
You're gonna have a lot of people who are looking to lock in at Atlanta on the 19th. You know, as soon as they can. And then you're gonna have people who have Auto Club Kansas circled, and then you're gonna go back to another drafting track at Talladega, and that's the last drafting track we have until October. After that, you know, that's kind of when everyone kind of comes out, and we're like, okay, what I would argue is our serious stretch of the season is Charlotte to Sonoma. And then we have another one from Chicago to Phoenix. I would argue those are probably our best stretches of people we could see. We could see a lot of different winners, I think, in those stretches. I
agree.
I personally, as a driver, would probably say you might want to get a second win, because there's a very good chance we might have more than 16.
Yeah, I mean, just seeing how many guys were up at the front and quick here. You know, obviously Corey was the car to beat. The way he was able to run on a long run, he was second to none.
Right, and that was something I covered when at the end of stage 2, because I was like, oh, that's the best car out here. Yeah,
it was crazy, because I mean, I'm sure y'all could see it there, but it was like he flipped the switch sometimes, and he would drop back 5 or 6 spots, and then I mean, within 2 to 3 laps, he's then gained all those spots back and then going for the lead. So he was definitely the car to beat. You know, Tanner had a really good car. 24 had a great car. Just unfortunately, they got in some accidents, but yeah, there's a lot of fast guys. So luckily, I was quick enough and lucky enough.
Right, and I think the big thing for you is making sure you get that win before those fast guys do. Really, what I would say your focus would be now is playoff points. Now that you're locked in, what you want is obviously you want the most. So, you know, you want playoff points, you want regular season points, because regular season that bonus is insane. I said that on broadcast. You know, Jordan won the regular season last year, missed a lot of the playoffs, and made it to the Final Four because of how many playoff points he had. Because he, you know, he's the owner. He ran every race in the season. So, you know, that pays. Like, regular season is a lot bigger than people think. Like, it's not just about the wins. There is a genuine points battle on the line at all times. Like, so.
Yeah, and that's why I don't want to be too conservative. Like, even if I don't go for the win all the time, I mean, at least try and finish, you know, top 2, top 3 in the stages and rack up as many points as I can.
Right.
You know, and then obviously get a win or two would be awesome. So it's just kind of, you know, it's still the beginning of the season, so I'm kind of playing it out and seeing who the really fast guys are and kind of go from there. But yeah, I'm a pretty conservative driver at first, and then kind of pick and choose when to turn it on, you know.
All right. Well, I think that's all we have time for. It was good talking to you. Congratulations on the win tonight, and we will see what you do in Atlanta.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate it. I'm going to rewatch the broadcast, and I appreciate you taking the time to do that. So
please don't make fun of my voice. I know it's bad.
No, I want to watch those saves I did. But
I
yeah,
hope
man, you
I
have a great
caught
night.
them.
Yeah, I'm sure you did. I'm gonna
We'll
go back
find
and
out.
watch it, and appreciate everybody that watched. And yeah, we'll see y'all next week.
All right. That was David Callahan, your race winner. I am going to go ahead and pull up the results one more time, just so everyone knows. Once again, David Callahan, your race winner. Tanner Siddon finishes second. Lucas Lewis, P3. John Deeds, P4. And Christian Mullen rounds out the top 5. Josh Mason, P6. Corey Rainey, P7. Jordan Parker, P8. Trenton Siddon, P9. Carden Hansen in 10th. Hess in 11th. And Beam in 12th to finish the order. We're at Atlanta Super Speedway configuration next week in the Generation 6 cars. That's going to be interesting, as I believe that's a new combo for just about everybody. So make sure to tune in next week at Atlanta. Stream will go up same time at 8:25 Eastern. We can't wait to see you next time.